Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Turf Ball. We're underway here. 2 minutes 28 gone here at the Turf. Burnley 0, Manchester City 0. We've had technical problems, so I've had to switch headset. So I hope you can all hear me okay. Good evening to you, Burnley. I'll run through the teams just a second or two. We've had 1 or 2 technical problems, so I've got a replacement set of headphones. And we're back now with commentary. Manchester City in dark shirts, Burnley in the claret and blue. They've just kicked off, incidentally, Burnley, and they're attacking the cricket field. Let me just give you the teams very quickly, in case you haven't seen them. Pope, Bardsley, Tarkowski, me, Peters, Lennon, Cork, Henrik, Drinkwater, McNeil and Wood. Manchester City with Ederson, Walker, Fernandinho, Otamendi, Angelino, Silva, Rodri, De Bruyne, Silva, Jesus and Sterling, as the ball is into the penalty area. Chance here for the first chance here for City, and it was Jesus making a run down the left-hand channel, and it was well marshalled out by the Burnley defenders. There was an offside against Jesus as the ball was played anyway by the referee's assistant. That's Mark Perry on the far side. Eddie Smart's the linesman on the near side. Just to give you the officials, full officials, John Moss, the referee from West Yorkshire. Mark Perry and Eddie Smart, the 2 assistants. And Martin Atkinson of West Yorkshire is our 4th official. The VAR people, Graham Scott of Oxford is the VAR referee. And Andy Halliday is his assistant, as Burnley have possession midway inside the City half, but then lose that possession. And now Henrik wins the ball on the right hand side, plays the ball in. It's hooked away again by Manchester City. 0-0 is the score, 4 minutes gone if you've just joined us late. The game live, coming for the first time actually from Turf Ball. Just us to pick a bad era to start our coverage. Our headphones don't seem to be working this evening, which is I can't quite get my head round, but never mind. City in the old dark strip, if you're watching, and of course there's a bit of Premier League history being made here tonight. It's the first round of fixtures that's ever going to be shown. All 10 games in the Premier League this midweek are all going to be televised by Amazon Prime. So if you've got Amazon Prime, but you want to listen to my commentary instead of Peter Drury's, then you've come to the right place, but you can watch the action as well unfold as that ball comes down the blind side and the cross comes in, and it's going to be a corner off the defender Eric Peters, in for the injured Charlie Taylor, who came off on Saturday with looks like a hamstring injury. Just to remind you of the 2 benches, when we'll just see this City corner out, and obviously we'll tick the 2 benches, and of course keep your comments clean. Of course, we are a family programme. New Caton is I just want to, before the corner's taken, I just want to welcome New Caton to our team. He's now one of our moderators, and now we've got up to 7 moderators. Russ Burnham being another one. He says good evening. Here's De Bruyne with the corner. It's an outswinger one here, and the shot comes in, but more 25 yards deflects, and I don't think the goal's going to stand. It isn't. Angelino with the strike, but it came off a City player who was in an offside position, and the goal's not going to count. And I think that's a good decision from the linesman here. Because as I can see there, Angelino with the shot, it comes off Jesus, but he's standing at least 2 yards offside, and Manchester City have a goal quite rightly disallowed, and it remains Burnley 0, Manchester City 0, with just 6.25 minutes gone in the first half. Pep Guardiola and Mikel Arteta, who's been one of the actual favourites for the Arsenal job in the last few weeks, whom Henry losing his job on Thursday night, of course. They've appointed Freddie Ljungberg as the temporary caretaker. And the ball hooked back to Ederson at the other end now for City. All in a pink goalkeeper jersey here tonight. Ball out on the far side. It will be a throw-in for Manchester City. Over with our penalty area. And well, Opta Stats have Burnley at a 17% win probability and 26% the draw, and 57% Manchester City to win tonight. Well, as a staunch claret, I'm not holding out to too much hope at the moment, but you never know. Remember 2015, remember 2015, City dominated, but Burnley scored that great goal from George Boyd. Half time at Sellers Park in another game that kicked off at 7:30. This one, Crystal Palace 0, Bournemouth 0. Sacco has been sent off though for Crystal Palace. 19 minutes was played at the time as the ball is swept into the Burnley penalty area. Well dealt with there by James Tarkowski. And now Burnley under the cosh a little bit. That's surely a push there, and it's got to be a free kick there. Kyle Walker, who put in the original cross, fouled his man. Free kick, and now Burnley are on their way, looking to get to Chris Wood in behind, and Wood might steal in here. Chances there, still might break. McNeil on the far side. McNeil with the cross, and it deflects. He'll get a second opportunity here, Dwight McNeil. Rodri right with him, and it's off the defender and behind for a throw-in on the far side to Burnley. Yes, tomorrow night we've got the Merseyside derby live again, same time, 8:15 kick-off. 8 o'clock start for us, hopefully, with no sound problems on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Here come Burnley with Danny Drinkwater, making his first Premier League start tonight. Now Tarkowski ushers himself back, shuffles himself back and hits a 70-yard long ball, but it's going to run out of play behind for a goal kick on the far side. So still 0-0 here, live on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Our first live Burnley match this season. We have covered Burnley a couple of times on the channel, albeit in delayed form. 3-0 win on the opening day against Southampton, and that 3-0 defeat for Liverpool. 3-0 defeat against Liverpool, where Burnley were just outplayed on the day. Here's David Silva now, the City captain. Gets the ball out towards the far side. And this is Bernardo Silva. He can torment players. He cuts inside, and good defending there from Jack Cork. Had to do well there for the Clarets. It's going to be a little bit biased, the commentary tonight, because I am a Burnley fan. First time I've covered them live, so if I am a little bit biased in the commentary, I do apologise to any Manchester City fans looking in. This is Raheem Sterling. One of the 6 candidates actually for BBC Sports Personality of the Year. Here he is now trying to find Angelino. Now Sterling gets the ball back again. Finds number 16 Rodri. Now Fernandinho, the City captain. He's playing at the heart of the defence alongside Otamendi. The ball hooked back, and we will bring you the 2 substitute benches because they are interesting in their own unique way from both sides as the Fernandinho carries the fight, and here comes Sterling now for Manchester City. Ball in behind. Angelino might get there, but good defending. Terrific defending there from Aaron Lennon. Knew what he had to do and ushered the ball out of play. Good defending. 10 minutes gone. Burnley 0, Manchester City 0, and Lennon did absolutely right. Missed the ball completely, actually. I think that's a given, or is it a corner? It must have come off a defender. It must have come off Lennon last, because De Bruyne is actually teeing up the corner. I didn't think there was a touch on that, but obviously there was. So a corner kick to Manchester City, and here comes the corner. De Bruyne into the penalty area. Well dealt with there by the Clarets, but it comes to Bernardo. Now Kyle Walker come over towards the far side. Walker back inside. Now Angelino. Angelino now has got De Bruyne, who took the original corner. Knocks the ball into the penalty area. That should be Nick Pope's, and is well taken there by the England starlet Nick Pope, who's had a good season. Had a bad day at the office on Saturday when he was at fault at least for one of the goals, where he let Wilfried Zaha's shot go in at the near post past him. Now with the ball out of play, we can give you the Burnley substitutes and Burnley and City substitutes. So Burnley have got on the bench Matt Lowton, Ashley Barnes, Robbie Brady, Ben Gibson, Jay Rodriguez, the hometown boy. Burnley have a throw-in midway inside the City half, which they've taken, but they've gone back to halfway and Ben Mee. Joe Hart, the substitute goalkeeper, former Manchester City, of course, and Matty Vidra. 33% possession Burnley, 67% for Manchester City. That's possession at this moment in time. We've only had 11 minutes of the game. City's bench: Bravo, Stones, Mendy, Mahrez, Cancelo, Phil Foden, the young starlet who won the World Cup under 17s with England, and Garcia. Now then, here comes Manchester City bursting through the middle. Shot comes in. It was Kevin De Bruyne who ran about 30-40 yards, got his shot off about 25 yards left-footed, but it was a tame effort in the end. And it was straight into the arms of Nick Pope, who was able to take the ball no problem at all. A regulation save there as De Bruyne hit it with his left foot. It was, as I say, a tame effort, but Manchester City looking very, very sharp tonight. That is, and I say that tentatively as a very excited, passionate Burnley fan, and I do want Burnley to do it tonight. It would be a great fillip for them if they could do it. And here they come now forward. Cork and Lennon's on the far near side. Lennon now, he'll take on his man. Angelino whips it to the byline. Cross comes in. It's walked away. Burnley there just for a moment looked a little bit threatening. But maybe Lennon left the cross a little bit too late. Now Bardsley to get it forward. Plays a 1-2. Can Bardsley keep it in? The answer's no. Try to play a 1-2 there with Danny Drinkwater. And he was very, very unlucky, to be fair. Sometimes that's the way football goes in that sense. We've had 13 minutes of the first half. Burnley 0, Manchester City 0 is the scoreline. If you've just joined us late, we had a little bit of sound trouble at the start, but we are now live and clear. When we do bring the equipment, we do make sure we have a spare headset and then just get it sorted out. Here's De Bruyne or Angelino rather, hitting a crossfield pass which is well intercepted by McNeil, but he's lost out to Kyle Walker, and this is Bernardo Silva. Here's De Bruyne on the far side. Ben Meter track him all the way. De Bruyne's cross, it could fall for Barsley, can just boot it down the field, down the right hand side. Good safety first play there from Bill Barsley, did really well. But here's Otamendi. Now Rodri takes over inside the centre circle, inside the Burnley half. Sterling has it on the left hand channel. He's got Angelino for company on the overlap. Close inside to David Silva. Chip there towards the far side. Might come here for Bernardo Silva. Hooks the cross back. Away by Ben Mee. Out for a throw into Manchester City. In line with the 18-yard box of Burnley on the far side. 14 gone. It's Burnley 0, Manchester City 0, live on the JB Claret YouTube channel. The game live, well, in the old days it was the Clarets game live. We don't cover many Burnley games live, but when we do, it's a real event. And that's surely a free kick to Burnley. It is. John Moss, the referee, making it quite clear. And it looks like Bernardo's been called over to Mr. Moss. Might want a little word here, because McNeil was on his bike. He was on his marks. That was surely had to be a tug. And the referee was right to give the free kick. I don't think there's a yellow card in the offing. Oh, is there? Yes, it's a yellow card, and it's his third booking this season for Bernardo Silva. But at the moment, it's still 0-0. Burnley have a free kick. Coming up towards a quarter of an hour of the first half. For the long ball forward there, I think it's Ben Mee who's taking the free kick towards the edge of the area. Lennon will flick it on that small body of his. Comes out to Cork. Cork over towards the far side. McNeil was lurking. McNeil will let the ball run out for a throw-in. Level with the City penalty area on the far side. Burnley need to bide their time, obviously. But they've got to give themselves the opportunity to do that. 15 gone, remember. 0-0 is the score. Burnley have a throw-in level with the City penalty area on the far side, at the Bobwell side of the ground. Burnley force another throw-in, again from the same spot. Sean Dyche asking for more, it looks like, on the far side. Was pleased with pockets of play on Saturday, but I don't think he could have been too pleased with the result there, in truth. It wasn't the best game in the world, and Palace deserved their victory, despite some of the theatrics from Wilf Zaha and one or two others. But having said that, Burnley, if they took their chances, Barnes had a chance in the first half. Wood had a glorious chance at 0-0, at 1-0 down to stick it in and hit it over the bar. This is Wood now on the ball. That's a poor ball, really, from Chris Wood. Needs to just look up and just use his brain a little bit more than New Zealander. Anyway, City win possession, but then Burnley, to their credit, win it back, and it's Dwight McNeil. How we could see a good night from him tonight. Here's Drinkwater. Only appearance so far was in that ill-fated, disappointing excuse of a League Cup tie against Sunderland, with Burnley putting in a very, very feeble, abject display in front of a sparse crowd at Turf Moor in the Cup. Here's one in behind the defenders, but here comes Henderson, takes the ball calmly and cleanly, and gets City moving once again. Good first half this, but still no goals. 0-0. I think they're just about to kick off in the second half at Selhurst. 7:30 kick-off. They've just kicked off, I think. It's Palace 0, Bournemouth 0, but Palace, of course, down to 10 men. Sarko sent off. This is Angelino finding Sterling. Back inside to Angelino. Angelino back to Sterling. Raheem Sterling for Manchester City. Looking to take on Bardsley, and he's whipped him there. Sterling's shot well blocked by the Burnley defence. And then Ward was surely fouled there by Otamendi, who's appealing his innocence, and the referee's going to have a chat with Otamendi. It looks to me as if John Moss is not going to stand any nonsense, and Otamendi is going to be surely now spoken to, if not booked. He's got to. If Otamendi's got a bit of a reputation for really shouting his mouth off here. David Silva, the captain, next to him. And I think John Moss is going to let him get away with it. I tell you what, he's lucky not to have gone into the notepad for me, Otamendi, because it was a clear foul. I don't think there was much cause for complaint there. He's clearly pushed forward, and that had to be a free kick. John Moss was right. Still 0-0, 18 minutes gone. Nick Pope's going to take the free kick, incidentally, midway inside his own half, right-footed. He slips as he takes it, but he looks for Wood. Finds Wood, who flicks it on down the right-hand side. City clear it out. And now Sterling dwelled on the ball, and Drinkwater was able to close him down. The ball's out of play, and it's a Burnley ball. It looks like good football, that good play there from Danny Drinkwater. Good midfield play. Didn't give Raheem Sterling any chance to settle down there. And Burnley get a throw in a very good position. Almost level with the City penalty area. What a moment if they could just strike the first blow here, the Clarets. Because that will make City's task a lot harder. Remember, City, without Sergio Aguero, one of their talisman and usual match winner. He was the match winner between the two sides last season, of course. Scored that goal which just crossed the line that day. It's another throw-in to Manchester City, or to Burnley. Here's Bardsley. Oh, that's a poor ball. I don't think it was round the blind alley, and out of play it went beyond Aaron Lennon. And of course, keep your comments clean. Of course, JB Man of the Match returns this evening. And the second half, Russ tells me, is underway, and he'll keep you updated with that, and we'll relay the score. There's going to be, so there's 2 Premier League games on tonight. There's another 2 actually on Thursday night. And there's another 6 tomorrow, and our featured, and we'll have updates on 5 of them, including Spurs and Manchester United at Old Trafford. But our main feature will come from Anfield for the Merseyside derby between Liverpool, the league leaders, and under fire Everton, who are right above that relegation drop trap, and Marco Silva hanging on to his job there, it seems, at Goodison Park by a fingernail. And incidentally, both Merseyside clubs drew each other, as you well know, in the FA Cup yesterday. That's going to be an intriguing third round tie in early January. Still 0-0 here in the Premier League. 20 minutes gone. City have had obviously the run of the possession, but as far as chances have been concerned, Burnley have really restricted them. But how long they can hold out there, I do not know. But here's Bernardo Silva tricking against McNeil. Now then. He's turking his man out beautifully. There's the cross, but well taken there by Nick Pope. I'm not sure whether we'll be coming again Thursday. I'll let you know in due course, Russ, as Pope throws the ball out. We will be live on Saturday for a match as well, as I'm free that day. So we'll be probably covering a Saturday evening game live on the JB Claret YouTube channel. As the long ball is hit foot with Henderson now on the edge of his 6-yard area. Clears the ball rather nonchalantly away. Second half is underway. Remember, Palace and Bournemouth 0-0. Palace down to 10 men. Sacco sent off around about the 20-minute mark in that game. If there are any goals that go in, myself and Russ between us will keep you updated as the evening goes on. That's the other game taking place. Remember, 6 more tomorrow, including the Merseyside derby, which we'll have for you live, and then 2 more on Thursday. All matches are being televised by Amazon Prime, the American streaming company. As the ball comes in from Angelino and turned away by Phil Bardsley for another City corner, with nearly 22 minutes of the first half played. Live on the JB Claret YouTube channel, full audio commentary of the game. Not if you're wondering why there's no action, because we're an audio stream, not a televised stream. We haven't got televisual rights. Corner's been taken short. Back towards Angelino once again. 35 yards from goal. Walker chips the ball out towards the far side. This could be trouble here for Manchester City. This is Sterling. He's past one man down the right hand side. Good defending again. Burnley defending like Tigers here. And James Tarkowski at the hub of everything good defensively so far in this first half for Burnley as the ball is tossed in towards the penalty area from the right hand side. Again, Tarkowski and me between them deal with it for the Clarets, and here come the Clarets now. They're looking to break with Jeff Henrik, and he's done well to hold the play up, and he's got Dwight McNeil on the ball on the far side. He's got Peters on the other, and Cork gets it to Peters. Now then, what can the former Stoke man do here? Gets a decent cross in, but it's just a poor one. Couldn't find Chris Ward, and Edison takes it calmly at his left-hand post. And here come Manchester City. It's almost been playing like an American-style basketball game. One team attacks and then another attacks. This is Gabriel Jesus. Jesus trying to bend one end, and he's found the bottom corner magnificently. You can't dispute that. It's a terrific finish by Gabriel Jesus, and Burnley fall behind here at Turf Moor. 23 minutes gone, and Burnley trail Manchester City. Gabriel Jesus with a great right footer beyond the goalkeeper's dive of Nick Pope, and into the net she went. And a real blow for the Clarets as the City fans celebrating the cricket field stand away to my right hand side. There's also a City player down injured as well in the centre circle here. It's a great goal, there's no doubt about that, and I have to concede as a staunch Claret it was a completely unstoppable goal. But was there an offside maybe? Of course VAR will be checking all this, but I don't think they'll do it. It's just inside the area as he struck it. Could Bardsley have closed him down quicker? I think he could have done. I think Phil Bardsley should be closing him down a lot quicker than he should be. And I think that's poor defending from Phil Bardsley, I must admit. No chance in the world that Nick Pope was going to get there. But I have to say, Phil Bardsley should be tighter to me. He's given Jesus that little bit of room, and that's all he needs. And that's has given City the lead after 24.5 minutes. And you can't say they haven't deserved it on the balance, but it's a very disappointing way for Burnley to concede, really, in terms of if Bill Bardsley is a lot tighter to him, then that shot does not happen. But there's no chance in the world for Nick Pope. There's not a lot he could have done about that. And Burnley have to come from behind again. It's not going to be an easy test now. And unfortunately, it's an unwanted bit of history for Burnley because, as Russ quite rightly points out, Gabriel Jesus scores the first ever Premier League goal live on the Amazon Prime streams. Now, De Bruyne was the man injured, but it was a good tackle at that time there by Jack Cork, and there was nothing wrong with that at all. I just think he went down a little bit awkwardly there, De Bruyne. He certainly wasn't play acting, if you were thinking what I was going to say. But at the moment Burnley have got it all to do. 1-0 down. There's a City player down injured, and now Burnley are not happy because that's surely not an head injury. If it is a head injury, then fair enough, but it didn't look like a head injury, and Burnley have put the ball out, and it's annoying the crowd here a little bit. Tarkowski's got the ball. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Silva has probably gone over the top there with his free tactics. That's play acting of the highest order. And there's no need for that from David Silva. And I think Burnley have every right to feel aggrieved. The Burnley fans around me in the commentary box are absolutely incandescent with rage. That is play acting of the highest order, I'm sorry to say. And I hate to say this because I love football and I love the sport, but when are we going to stop this play acting malarkey? When is it going to stop? Burnley have a free kick. John Moss right on the spot. Now then, Burnley have got a chance here. Panini reckons that they can do it. He's gone for a 2-2 draw. So Panini's prophecy is a scoring, entertaining 2-2 draw. I'm not going to make any prophecies because usually when I make prophecies or make a prediction, it's very seldom I get them right. I'm just going to watch the game from my very eyes, but I really do hope Burnley get something here tonight. And David Silva, that was just ridiculous, and Russ Vernon backs that up. Free kick to Burnley. Midway inside the City half, chipped into the penalty area. Little flick on. Henrik's in there, and they play handball. Referee not interested. Referee not interested. I think there was an appeal or two there, maybe for a possible penalty there to the Clarets. I'm certain VAR will check it. Here's Bernardo Silva though at the other end for Manchester City. Well dealt with there by the Burnley defenders as he tried to play a crossfield ball. But City still have possession, however, and they've got men over. This is Walker. Cross comes in. It's over. It's over from Kyle Walker. And they're behind for a goal kick. Now, I wonder if VAR will check this possible penalty appeal. There were handballs. There was a couple of appeals from Burnley fans. Very vehement appeals, I have to say. And there's David Silva hitting one over the bar there. Or rather, Kyle Walker, hitting one over. VAR must have checked it. And they've decreed it's not a penalty. John Moss obviously must have been correct then, according to the video assistant referee. I have to say, Turf Moor looking spick and span. They filled in those corners with the disabled people. It's looks a lot better stadium than what it was. With certainly the corners filled in. A little bit of a tangle down on the near side below me between Raheem Sterling and James Tarkowski. And now City have possession. 28 and 3/4 minutes gone. A terrific goal there. It's got to be said by Gabriel Jesus, has given City the lead here. 0-0 in the other game between Crystal Palace and Bournemouth. Palace down to 10 men. That's a 7:30 kickoff. They're into the second half here. We're 29 minutes into the first half here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. But I'm afraid to say it's not good news if you're a Claret, because Burnley are losing by a goal to 0 against the reigning Premier League champions. Remember, starting the night, a massive 11 or 12 points behind Liverpool in the Premier League table. Liverpool will be featuring tomorrow night as our featured commentary as they take on Everton at Anfield in the first Merseyside derby of the season, and always a passionate affair. They've also drawn each other again at Anfield in January in the FA Cup. And of course they'll have a second league meeting later on in the season at Goodison Park, and there could be a lot riding on that if Everton don't get out of their precarious position. Of course, Marco Silva's job very much under threat there at Goodison. Here's Raheem Sterling for Manchester City. 1-0 to the champions at the moment here at Turf Moor. This is Kyle Walker back inside to Rodri. Rodri turning it round, and you've got to say some of the approach play from City, and as announced, he's been pretty good in that, and I have to say that through gritted teeth. Sterling has done well, gets the ball to David Silva. Silva knocks the ball back, but Bardsley, coolness personified, knocks the ball nonchalantly, and Jack Cork completes the clearance, and Wood has actually kept that in play. And City, though, have won possession. I think Chris Wood might have been better advised to leave that, maybe, because City are coming right back at them. Here's David Silva. Burnley, I felt, we're lining up a little bit negative at home. I think if it's 1-0 at this stage at half-time, I think Sean Dyche must go to a 4-4-2. I don't think the midfield has looked solid enough. I don't think the midfield five's working. I've always said Jeff Henrik should not be playing as a number 10, but Dyche has gone with it. I don't know whether it's because of Tottenham on Saturday in mind, but I think he's been rather ridiculous in the way that he's picked his side. Actually, Westwood didn't make it. He was available for tonight, but there was a slight knock, and they did put his future taking part in this game tonight very much in doubt. And he didn't obviously make it, and I think if Westwood had made it, I think it would have been 4-4-2. But at the moment, Lennon's been poor. Cork, I've not seen too much of. Henrik, of course, playing that number 10 role, which I don't think suits him. I think he's much better as a box-to-box midfielder or a right winger. And here's De Bruyne now, crossing to the penalty area. Oh, what a save! What a save from point-blank range! There was two City players converging. There's a Burnley player down, and now Burnley have urged City to put the ball out themselves. And I think it's who is it there? Is it Phil Bardsley who's gone down injured? Nick Pope there making a point-blank range save. 32 got it still. Burnley 0, Man City 1, but they nearly went 2 up here, City. You've got to say it was good play down that far side. And there's the cross. No doubt he was offside. It was Sterling, and Nick Pope, his England teammate, has just made a fantastic save from point-blank range. De Bruyne with the cross from the right-hand channel, and Jesus and Sterling went for the ball. Sterling got there first, but so too did Pope. He made a marvellous save there. The England goalkeeper made his first ever international start last month against Kosovo in that final European qualifier, of course. Just a word or two about Lionel Messi picking up the Ballon d'Or last night. I thought it was a disgraceful decision from the powers that be. I felt that Virgil van Dijk should have won it. Took to social media to express my disgust at the decision from the powers that be that make these decisions, and I've got to be quite honest with you. I thought it was a disgraceful decision. I'm not saying Messi's a brilliant player or not a brilliant player, but he scored 50 goals in a league, really, which, with all due respect to La Liga, is a poor league in terms of quality these days. There's usually about, Barcelona win it every other season and win it by such a big margin. It's unbelievable. But no, Virgil van Dijk should have had the award, and I felt it was a disgrace that Lionel Messi got it. It's his 6th Ballon d'Or, but 2 or 3 of them, I believe, have been completely undeserved. No doubt in the man's talent. He's certainly a talented boy, and he's certainly been one of the best players that we've seen in recent times. But a lot of people say he's the best player ever to put on a football shirt or play a football boots. I'm sorry, he's not. He's not in the same category as a George Best or a Pele or a Maradona, for that matter. Here's Raheem Sterling anyway. Back to the game. It's 34 minutes gone. City leading 1-0, and they have possession here with David Silva. Here is Angelino trying to get the cross in, and it's deflected away off Phil Bardsley. He's up and okay, by the way. He's okay at the moment. Panini talking about the cup. Feels so sorry for Chichester, but not for Solihull Moors. I think you've got to shed a tear for Solihull. They were 3 up with a quarter hour to play last night in the cup, and they were seemingly coasting through to the 3rd round, and then they had it cruelly snatched away by Rotherham. Still 1-0, sorry, to Manchester City. 34 gone. Here's Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker with a cross in there, turned away by Peters, not very well, but it came off Bernardo and behind for a goal kick. Remember, Bernardo's the only player, incidentally, in this first half that's been booked out of the 22 players that started, and Tony Loughran and Sean Dyche and Ian Wone all having words to say on the bench, because at the moment I don't think the system they've employed tonight has worked at all, and they have been second best. I think they've tried to be too ultra cautious, and when you're at home and people are paid the best part of £50 for a ticket, I think they're entitled to a better value for money than what they're getting tonight, I have to be honest. I understand Sean Dyche's problem, it's Manchester City and all that, but I don't think tactically they've been astute enough, the 3 of them. I think they should have gone 4-4-2 and tried to force the issue and try and play City at their own game. They're on their own pitch and their own dimensions, and this is Manchester City they're playing. As the shot comes in, deflected and well held. De Bruyne with a left-footed shot from just outside the penalty area. Did well there. Did it turn a deflection? He might have got a deflection here of Eric Peters. Yeah, it just helps Nick Pope, that deflection. And I think it might have been going wide in any case, but you never know. So the win probability, this doesn't look good, Burnley fans. 4% win probability, 15% possibly in the draw, and a massive 81% swing for Manchester City to take the 3 points tonight, which does look very damning and a little bit harsh on Burnley, but it's the quality of Manchester City, and they're coming forward again into the penalty area. Bernardo, good tackle. James Tarkowski. Bernardo has to accept that was a great tackle there. If he had any designs of appealing for a possible penalty, he was never going to get him in a month of Sundays. This is Phil Bardsley now. Gets it into Wood. Now can Wood hold it up? He's got it out to Dwight McNeil here. He's just come towards the right-hand side. Ball towards the penalty area. Burnley have forced a corner off Kyle Walker. Better from Burnley. And that might just stir up the Burnley fans around me in the commentary box. There's the ball in. It was looking towards Jack Cork. Walker could not take the chance because Cork was getting on the end of that possibly. And now Burnley have got a real opportunity here. If they can get an equaliser with less than 8 minutes of the first half remaining, boy, are we in for some match. Cork, Tarkowski, Wood on the goal line as that corner comes in. It's swung in. Edison's lost it, and in fact he's been fouled by Drinkwater right on the goal line, and in fact Manchester City get a free kick there, a bit fortuitous maybe. Let's have a look again on the replay. Well, I don't think Drinkwater does that much wrong to me. I think referees protect goalkeepers rather too easily there. Edison could have caught that. There was no way in the world that was a push. You try and tell me, and I used to play in goals myself, and I think the goalkeepers do get far too much protection, certainly from the big clubs in any case. And Edison now taking his royal time, which is winding up the Burnley fans here at the stadium. He kicks along this time after about 10 seconds of larking about. I don't think I'd have to. Well, I'd have to wait a good while to do the commentary there for Amazon Prime. They only have like 2 rounds of matches each year. They have another bunch of 20 matches over the Boxing Day period as well. But that's all they've got in terms of the Premier League action. 20 matches, 2 rounds of fixtures. It's nice to have somebody other than Sky covering these games as well. And nice to see some fresh faces involved. And I'd love to see some football, top flight football, back on terrestrial television. That would be nice as well. If we could get terrestrial football, Premier League football on terrestrial with either the Beeb or ITV. Maybe ITV could bid for rights next time, who knows. Here's Raheem Sterling now, crossing towards the penalty area, well turned away by Burnley. I have to say the 2 centre-backs for Burnley have had terrific games thus far. And here goes Peters, but he's lost possession, and that was careless from Peters. And he's really, well, Jack Cork's had to overlap there. I think Peters is still not a good player. I've seen a lot of him now this season, and he's been culpable for a lot of the goals that have gone past Nick Pope, or have been allowed to go past Nick Pope. Here's De Bruyne, chipped into the penalty area, turned away. Mamadou Sakho. I didn't like him on Saturday, I've got to be honest with you. He may want to he conned the referee on a couple of occasions along with Will Saha. Edge of the penalty area now. Silva runs forward. Raheem Sterling trying to flick it round the corner with the back of his heel. And the ball comes away once more. And the ball is loose, but it's City that picking up the first and second balls at the moment, unfortunately. Burnley just haven't done enough, really. Last 5 minutes possession, Burnley have had 23% possession and 77% possession. I think you might be wrong, actually, because BT have covered a few Merseyside derbies, so I think it will not be the first Merseyside derby that Sky have not covered. The BT have covered a couple of Merseyside derbies in the past. Most notably a 3-3 draw, I think in 2013-14, where it ended 3-3 in a real entertaining game. Liverpool in those days under the managership of Brendan Rodgers, and Everton, of course. Well, as a Burnley fan, not really, but but it was a terrific finish that's given City the lead. Anyway, ball over the top. De Bruyne or rather Angelino will run on the end of it, and the ball out of play will be level with the 18-yard box the City are throwing for them. Leading 1-0, that goal from Jesus, it was a great goal to be fair, but as a Burnley fan, in the pit of my stomach, it's annoying. It's annoying me if I was to be totally and utterly biased. Burnley, I do like Chris Wood when he's finishing the ball, when he's finishing chances. He didn't finish one against Palace. Anyway, Henry goes down. That's going to be a free kick to Burnley. De Bruyne clearly pushed him, and the referee had no other choice, I felt. The ball was there. He got there first, and yeah, take him out. That's a good piece of refereeing. So De Bruyne penalised, so a free kick to Burnley. No yellow card. 3.5 minutes to go to half time. And can Burnley snatch an equaliser? Remember, half time we'll take a 10-minute break to rest the throat, and then you guys can sit down and dissect the first half in the comment section if you want. Even though I'm away, the comment section will be open for business. New Cated is one of our new moderators, and it's a delight to welcome him to the team. Here's Lennon with the cross towards the far post. Better for Burnley. McNeil trying to volley. Still might come. Tarkowski trying to head it forward. It'll come for Drinkwater on the edge of the penalty area. And almost Almost a chance there for Burnley to get the equaliser, but now they're on the defensive side because it's De Bruyne making a burst down the left-hand side for City. Oh, the ball's deflected kindly, and what a save! Denied Bernardo Silva by Nick Pope. What a save! What a save by Pope! Well, Burnley could have scored at one end, and City certainly should have scored at the other. Bernardo Silva's shot and Nick Pope's right leg managed to hook it away. In fact, he got it out for a throw-in. That was one of the most remarkable saves I think I've seen from Nick Pope so far this season. He's kept Burnley in it, essentially. Here's Fernandinho. Burnley really need to test this makeshift back line of Manchester City. I covered City last week against Shakhtar Donetsk in the Champions League, and they looked all over the place. And if Sean Dyche was watching, I think he needs to take a little bit of a tactical masterclass from the coach that night, because I felt that Shakhtar played a good tactical game against City. But here's Jesus. They can't afford to go 2 down. Jesus goes down. He's never going to get a penalty. He lost his foot in, but it was never a penalty in a month for Sundays. And if he had given it, John Moss, I'm certain VAR would have overturned it. Here's David Silva. Edge of the penalty area. Cross comes in, turned away beautifully by Ben Mee. It's Phil Bardsley, who's wearing number 26 this evening. Here's Raheem Sterling. Oh, and here's a cross in there from Angelino, and again Ben Mee having a good match at the moment. The Burnley captain doing really well. But Burnley need to get out and get a bit of respite, because City are coming at them hammer and tongs here. Good tackle again, this time Alan Lennon. They need something here. They need some respite here, Burnley. We're inside almost the final minute of the first half. It's still Burnley 0, Manchester City 1, but it's relentless City pressure. As De Bruyne plays the ball into the edge of the area. Drinkwater's there. And again, James Tarkowski's had a terrific first half. The former Brentford centre-back. He's had a marvellous game. And Wood goes down, but can't keep possession. It was never a foul. Here's De Bruyne now for Manchester City, leading 1-0. That goal from Jesus separating the two teams. No goals, it seems to me, in the other game between Palace and Bournemouth. Palace, of course, playing with 10 men. Mamadou Sakho sent off after 20 minutes. 30 seconds, 25 seconds of normal time to go. Then we'll get fourth official Martin Atkinson's view of things. I wish Martin Atkinson was the ref tonight, because we usually win when he refs. He's usually an unlucky charm when he's out on the field refereeing. Here's Raheem Sterling now for Manchester City, leading 1-0. I have to say, through gritted teeth as a Burnley fan, they have deserved it on balance of play. 2 added minutes, incidentally, at the end of the first half, which we're into the first of now. And here is Kyle Walker there, steering ahead of Jack Court there. Court was a little bit off colour there as that ball's into the penalty area. And what a good piece of handling again by Nick Pope. He's had a marvellous first half. No chance with the goal, admittedly. But whatever else he's had to do, he's done it remarkably well. And a long ball up towards Jeff Fenrick. And now Burnley now trying to canter forward, and Lennon will attempt to keep it in play. It will be a City ball, however. But Burnley need to be a bit more braver, I think, when they go on the attack. And I think they need to go at City in the second half. They are the home team, for heaven's sake. This was an opportunity there. Good push there. And he actually comes off. Wood goes up there. There's a chance here on the volley from McNeil. And that's probably going in. And it hits the back of Chris Wood. Would you believe it? And the ball, headed back there, rather casually there by Kyle Walker. Just for a moment, if that hadn't got any leeway on it, it might have just dropped to Chris Wood. Oh, been an interesting first half here. Apologies there if you could hear a mobile phone going off. I should really be turning them off when we're broadcasting. Never mind. 1-0 to Manchester City. There's been a VAR check for a possible Palace penalty. No penalty. Sahar did go down easily. Well, that's it's not a great surprise, if I'm being honest. It was Meppen who made the challenge, and the VAR referee looks as if they've got that one correct. We'll have to see that a bit later on the highlights and for that. But here's Silva playing the ball in, and that's going to be Nick Pope's again. Lightning fast De Bruyne, but Pope is certainly lightning fast. With 10 seconds of the 2 minutes to play, City will go in 1-0 up. There's no doubt about that. But Burnley really need to pull their socks up in an attacking sense. Defensively, they've been really, really good. Nothing they could have done about the goal that's gone in as the half-time whistle sounds from referee John Moss of West Yorkshire. Pep Guardiola will be delighted that his side have been the better. You've got to say Pep Guardiola's side have been the better side, but it's a terrific goal that's winning it from their point of view. A terrific strike from just inside the penalty area from the left-hand side. A terrific side foot goal after 24 minutes from Gabriel Jesus. That nestled sweetly in the back of Nick Pope's net. Maybe questions asked maybe of Bartley. Could he close that down better? Who knows? But it was a terrific goal. There's no doubt about that. Burnley really haven't produced too much really as an attacking force, which is a little bit of a worry. They have come close when McNeil's volley hit his own man Chris Wood. But apart from that, they've not really offered that much else. And I think the five in midfield is clearly not working. I think Dyche must change it tactically at half-time. And they must go for the jugular in the second half. They might as well go for it in the second half, I feel. If I was Sean Dyche, I'd be doing that at the moment. Because they need to test that makeshift back two of Nicola Otamendi and Fernandinho. Of course, Panini's right. Burnley aren't out of it yet, but City certainly the team very much in the insanity at the moment. We're going to take a 10-minute break and rest my voice because I think the second half might be a crackaroonie. So stay tuned and we'll see you for the second half. The half-time score here at Turf Moor. It's a frustrating one for the Clarets, but a great one for the champions. They're looking to get back to winning ways. It's Burnley 0, Manchester City 1, and we'll be back with the second half in a few minutes' time. Welcome back to the turf as we reconvene for the second half. It's John Stutter, JB in the commentary box here at Turf Moor. Very cold and very bitter Turf Moor. Sean Dyche making his way down onto the field via the tunnel. Burnley 0, Manchester City 1. I have to disagree with some of the stuff that Alan Shearer said, obvious reasons. I honestly think that Burnley have not been poor, and I think they defended really well. They said they can't cope, but I don't think he forgets that Ben Mee and James Tarkowski have had a terrific game so far, and I think he's missed that point entirely there, Shearer, and I'm afraid this is why I don't think he should be a pundit. But there you go, Mr. Shearer. You might play for the other lot down the M65, but be totally unbiased, will you? Anyway, it's just typical that we get Shearer for the Amazon Prime. But anyway, news from Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace have just taken the lead against Bournemouth. The 10 men of Palace lead Bournemouth, and they're into the final 10 minutes, I believe, of that game as well. Or they're into the closing stages anyway. So Crystal Palace leading, Manchester City underway, kicking off to the goal to the right. Let me just remind you of the 2-11s. So it's Burnley with Pope, Bardsley, Tarkowski, Mee, Peters, Lennon, Cork, Henrik, Drinkwater, Dwight McNeil and Chris Wood. Manchester City with Ederson, Kyle Walker, Fernandinho, Nicola Otamendi, Angelino, David Silva, Rodri, De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Jesus and Sterling, and the ball now back to Nick Pope, who kicks away right-footed. On the bench, just to remind you, the benches, Burnley have got Lowton, Barnes, Brady, Gibson, Rodriguez, Hart and Vidra, as Edison kicks clear for City. Bravo, Stones, Mendy, Mahrez, Cancelo, Foden and Garcia are the City substitutes, and of course you've got the comment section. JB Man of the Match votes will open after 65 minutes. We've played a minute of the second half, and still Burnley 0, Manchester City 1. Nice to have you with us on this Tuesday night live as well. And you'll take Gillingham and West Ham. You can have Gillingham and West Ham. It depends on how the dates go and who gets selected for television coverage, of course, Benini, but we'll just have to see how that goes. We're a long way off the third round of the FA Cup. We've still got Liverpool to come against Everton tomorrow, and of course World Club Championship, Liverpool involved in that, the League Cup quarter-finals. So I reckon that Burnley have a 4% chance of winning tonight. That's at this moment in time. A mammoth 81% for Manchester City and 15% a possibility of a draw. So at least 4% is better than 0%. As a staunch claret, I'm hoping that we will take something from the game as Nick Pope gets the ball away over the halfway line. Burnley needs to be a bit more all action, have a little bit more bite maybe in the middle of the field, and they might give themselves a chance. Maybe if they could get two up top, maybe with Barnes joining Wood up front, it might give them a little bit of scope and go back to 4 in midfield, because at the moment the 5 in midfield I don't think is working that well, and it's City are overrunning them now. And this is Sterling on the far side. It's Sterling now into the penalty area, pulled back across, just a little bit too far there for Bernardo, but he's kept it in, still inside the penalty area. Ball back towards Kyle Walker on the right hand channel. Bernardo now on the right hand side, Peters to meet him, and now Walker back to De Bruyne about 25 yards from goal. And here is Sterling looking to work his magic once again. Ball played in there. Burnley just getting enough numbers back and doing some good defensive work. There's a City player that slipped over there. There was no foul, but City have won possession in any case. This is Angelino getting the ball back. I did honestly think Shearer was a bit harsh with Burnley at half time, considering that they apparently didn't cope. I don't think cope was the right word. I think we've contained City well. Okay, they've pinned us back quite a lot, but I don't think not coping is the right word. I don't think coping's the right word. I think Shearer's obviously letting his Blackburn Rovers bias come out of him. Here's Sterling now inside the penalty area, cross back, and in the end, Jesus couldn't get on the end of it, and McNeil gets it away from the edge of the penalty area for Burnley. That was a difficult moment there for the Clarets, and it still might be here because Bernardo Silva is coming back at them now for Manchester City. Still 1-0 to the men from the blue half of Manchester. They've got a free kick, which John Moss has allowed them to take quickly. I don't think Burnley were ready for that. And here's Silva now chipping the ball in and hooked away by Wood. Oh, sorry, Cork rather. Cork got it away. Burnley still on the back foot here. And Sean Dyche can't leave it too long before making changes. We've played 4 minutes of the second half. Here's Bernardo back inside to Walker. Can Walker knock it back? Rodri now looking for options. He's got Bernardo Silva here. Peters needs to be a lot more tighter to him, I feel. Here's Walker's cross, turned away again by Tarkowski. He's had a marvellous game at the back for Burnley tonight. Someone that Shearer failed to mention badly during his half-time analysis on the telly. There's the ball into the penalty area. Chance for a second one, and they've got it. Jesus again. And Burnley are in big trouble now. It's Burnley 0, Manchester City 2. Gabriel Jesus inside the 6-yard box. I don't think he was onside. I think he was well onside as that ball was played in. I'm sure VAR will check it, but the goal will stand, I'm afraid. And Burnley have made the worst possible start to the second half. City, you've got to say, were brilliant there. We're picking for gaps. And I have to say, poor defending this from Eric Peters. Should be a lot tighter to Bernardo Silva than what he was. Definitely onside there. Bardsley playing them all on. And, well, it's going to be an uphill task now for even for Burnley to get a draw yet. That's poor defending. Firstly from Peters for giving Bernardo too much time to say he's up across. And Bardsley should be goal side of Jesus. There's no excuse for that. It's a great finish, but that's poor. That's poor now. That's poor from both wing backs, it's got to be said. A goal that's very easily avoidable. The first one you can put down to a moment of genius. But the second one, Peters should be closing down the cross better. And certainly Bardsley should not be playing them onside for a start. And secondly, he should be goal side of the striker and stopping that. That is poor from both wing backs, and they deserve a little bit of criticism from me. But Sean Dyche has now got to change things now. Burnley 2-0 down. It looks like they're going to be going into the bottom half of the table because of Palace's result at the moment. They're winning against Bournemouth. We'll get a confirmation of the full-time result in that one, but it's poor really from both Peters and Bardsley. This is why I honestly think, Bardsley's come into the team and done well, but they're just not good enough. This is, that was just shoddy defending. Nick Pope couldn't have done anything wrong with that. Nick Pope's done nothing wrong. He's had no chance in either goal. But now City are on the rampage, and I hate to say it, but they're getting back to their imperious, mischievous best. And Burnley have just not done what... Sean Dyche should have watched that game last week between Burnley and Shakhtar Donetsk, where they absolutely outplayed City in certain aspects of the area and were brave and attacked and got themselves a point. Now, if Burnley had just done a percentage of that tonight, they could have been level in this game. But they've just been too shy. They're set up in a negative way, and I think the Burnley fans, are entitled to feel a little bit disgusted on the messaging boards at the moment. If you've paid £50, best part of £40 for a ticket, you're entitled to feel a little bit frustrated with Sean Dyche there, because we want to see Burnley try and win the game. And of course City are going to have the better attacking intent. They've got billions of pounds in the bank, but this is just ridiculous. Here's Walker. Peters needs to be cut. Oh, that's poor from Peters. And the ball mucked back across, and again Peters. That was just horrible defending. How is he in the team? He's only in the team because of Taylor's injury. And here's Jesus. He's round the corner. He's on a hat-trick of goals. Jesus puts the shot wide. And he should have scored. There's no doubt about it. Burnley again, lacklustre at the back. Jesus got round the back. How he got round the back is a mystery to me. And now, was he offside? No, me was playing him onside. That's the first time Ben Mee's done anything that's been poor. Should have scored though. Gets away from the brilliant Tarkowski. He's just got too much pace there for James Tarkowski. I think Tarkowski just puts him off at the last second. I think that's why the ball goes narrowly wide of the target as opposed to into the back of the net. So it remains 2-0 to Manchester City, but Burnley are just not doing enough in certain aspects of this game, and they'll be watching with a little bit of worry now as the full-time confirmation has come in from Selhurst Park. That goal late on for Crystal Palace. I don't know who scored it actually, but they scored a late goal. The 10 men of Crystal Palace are now in 5th position, but I've obviously played a game more than the rest of them, so they could drop down, but Burnley will drop down to 11th, I think, now as a result of that result tonight. That's a disappointing result if you're a Burnley fan. A long ball forward there. So Palace have won 2 in a week, and now up to the dizzy heights of 5th. Roy Hodgson will be happy with that, that's for sure. It's City who are 2-0 up here in our featured game. Tomorrow night we've got a real mouth-watering Merseyside derby to come from Anfield. Join us around about 8 o'clock if you can for that one. It should be a real crackerjack of a game. Burnley 0, Manchester City 2 is the current scoreline at the moment, and it's not looking too bright, I'm afraid, if you're a Burnley fan. Walker now keeping possession. And Andinho, they just not even tried to attack Burnley. That is just, I'm sorry, but when they're not trying, and it's not. I mean, it's no offence to City, they're deserving of their 2-goal lead, but Burnley need to be a bit more gun ho. If you're, I think if I was paying £40 just to see what I'm seeing from Burnley at the moment, I think I'd be entitled to ask for my money back, because this has just been complete and utter dross. Here's Sterling now. Into De Bruyne. Could be problems here. Bernardo, they've got a real overload here. City on the right-hand channel, and they've messed it up a little bit. The ball went right beyond the defenders there, and Angelino's kept it alive. And now Rodri in possession for Manchester City. It was Jeff Schrupp who got the winning goal in that game. 2-2 for him. Bernardo Silva back to Kyle Walker. Burnley need to start playing a lot better, because they've just not turned up tonight. They've just given too much respect. This is Jesus. Good tackle. First thing that Barnes has done right all night. Got back there and did well. And then one is fouled quite clearly, and the referee's not blowing. Why is he not blowing? Wood was clearly taken out. The referee has not given anything. Disgraceful from John Moss, the referee. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Burnley 0, Manchester City 2 if you've joined us late here on the JB Clark YouTube channel. Sean Dyche has not made any movement or any attempt to try and change the feel of the game and get players on. And that is an annoyance for me. Watching as a Burnley fan, he needs to take action. He should have taken action at half time. Everyone of the 1,000 at Turf Moor, even I realised that the 5 in midfield was a complete, utter disaster. We're being overrun, and it's the same's happening here, and we're 2-0 down because of it, and it could be 3 here if Raheem Sterling gets on his bike. Bernardo's through. Why is it Peters closing him down? It's disgraceful for Burnley. Here's Walker's shot, and it deflects, and it's a corner, but Peters again! Feeble defending! Needs to be tighter than what he is, sitting getting on with it. They want to finish the job as quickly as possible. And again, pawn from the Burnley defence again. Peters especially. He's all over the place. This is out of Sheffield United all over again. On a much larger scale. This is in front of their own fans. What is Peters playing at? He's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. He's been all over the shop. Bardsley's been all over the shop. The only 2 players that come out with any real credit is Ben Mee and James Tarkowski, in my opinion, out of the Burnley defence, and Nick Pope, of course. The rest of them have just been non-existent. Peters has been poor. Bardsley's been poor. It's just been awful all the way through. Burnley need to pull their fingers out, and fast, because it's just not good enough. They need to make a fight of it, even if they go down. Go down fighting. Don't go down with a whimper. Here's De Bruyne now, 35 yards on. He'll shape to shoot, right footed. He hits it over the bar. And Burnley here need to get some spirit in the camp, because at the moment there's no team spirit, there's no desire, there's no nothing. Burnley need to try. They're not trying. It's easy for Manchester City. Well, they're going to bring on a double change. Well, it's come a little bit late in the day, 2-0 down. It's wrong. It should have done it happening at half time. Drinkwater has faded away. There's no doubt about that. Very surprised to see him play tonight. But Ashley Barnes, now, he might be able to do something here. Jay Rodriguez, the hometown boy, he'll have something to say. This is what Burnley needed to do quicker than what they've done. They've got half an hour to score 2 goals, these two, and they're capable of doing it, but it's going to be tough, but you never know. If Burnley can nick a couple of goals here, it would be a terrific point. National League score crashing through. Eastleigh 0, Wrexham 2. That's coming towards the end there. That's a 7:45 kickoff. Rodriguez on the chase. Knocked away. Peters now. He needs to book up his ideas. Oh, that's a foul. Clear foul. Referee well spotted. Well spotted. And Barnes in there straight away. Showing more determination than half the Burnley team that have done so for the other 59 minutes that have been played. Definite foul by Rodri. Clip Barnes over. Not Barnes over. And it's a free kick. Your commentary is superb, my friend. Thank you very much, Mark Robinson. If you enjoyed the commentary, my friend, leave a subscribe and hit the notification bell. In fact, if you are joining us for the first time tonight, good evening to you all. Keep your comments clean, of course. Also, if you have enjoyed the content, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Tomorrow we've got a real crackerjack of a game in the Merseyside derby. But here, right now, Burnley have a free kick in a very good position. Henrik's going to take it, or rather, and a good free kick. That's better for Burnley. Dwight McNeil with the left-footed drive. It was straight down Edison's throat, admittedly, but Burnley have got a shot on target. That's encouraging. This is what I want to see more of from Burnley in the second half. Play with some fight. Play with some vigour. Have a go. Try and have a go. If you get beat 3-4-0, fair enough. But have a go. Go down fighting. Have a go. Don't linger on and let City take over and try and spoil things. You've got half an hour now. Burnley could give a good account of themselves. They've really got a chance if they can just believe in themselves. They've got 3 strikers on the field now. They've got to go for it now. So Barnes on. And of course, we'll talk about the JB Man of the Match award. That opens up in 5 minutes' time. Name of your player, hashtag JBMLTM. And of course, we'll let you know when to vote then. 61 almost gone. And Peters, that's better from Eric Peters. This is what I've wanted to see from him all night. 5-strike McNeil. This is better from Burnley. Cork to me, but they need to get the ball forward. They haven't got time to lark about here and get the ball forward. Cork, Robert Pope, long and high. This is better. McNeil now. Bit of space now on the left-hand side. Now we've got a chance. McNeil. Bring in the middle if they can get across in there. McNeil's cross and he's turned away by Angelino for a corner. Better for Burnley. They're looking more sharper. The Burnley fans now. A bit of noise now coming up from the stadium. If they can just nick a goal here, they've got a chance. Sean Dyche has gambled and he had to gamble at some point. Now Dwight McNeil. And this is where Burnley have to make one of these set plays count. If they can nick a goal here, it's going to be an interesting last half an hour, folks. Ken Tarkowski, who scored in the win a couple of weeks ago. Oh, that's a poor corner. In fact, they're very lucky, in fact, to have got another corner because Otamendi, who has got that ball out, that was drifting wide of the penalty, but drifting wide of the post, and it's a needless corner that City have conceded. Now, Jeff Henrik, can you put in a good delivery? Rodriguez is forward. Barnes is forward. Me and Tarkowski are both forward from the back. Here comes Henrik into the penalty area towards the 6-yard box. Back post. And the ball is run away. And that's going to be a goal kick, I'm afraid, to Manchester City. And 2 corners there that have really come to nothing there for Sean Dyche's men. But a little bit more positivity about their play now, which is a little bit of a consolation in some respects. But they needed to do this earlier on in the game. And we'll be live at around about 8 o'clock tomorrow night at Anfield for Liverpool against Everton. The Merseyside derby live on the JB Claret YouTube channel, and we'll have updates from 5 other games, including Jose Mourinho's return to Old Trafford as they take on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's misfiring Manchester United. Spurs will fancy their chances. They drew 2-2 with Aston Villa on Sunday, Manchester United. Very disappointing result for them. But it's Manchester City on the break here with Angelino. 63 gone. Burnley 0, Manchester City 2. A little bit more better for Burnley as an attacking force. Good to see. But they still trail by 2-0. They need to book their ideas up. They're running out of time. We've got 27 minutes to go. Can Burnley force themselves back into this? They need to start believing in themselves. If they can nick a goal here, Sergio Aguero on the in the director's box. Brian Kidd actually sat away to the right hand side. Brian Kidd still going. No, he was 19 in '68 when Manchester United won the. He must be at least 69 years old now. Brian Kidd, or he's well into his 70s now. Brian Kidd. Anyway, the ball flicked forward now. Jay Rodriguez was on the chase, but the ball out of play. Carl Walker did well there. Shepherded the ball out of play, but Burnley looking a little bit more menacing in attack. Jay Rodriguez scored 20 goals for West Brom. Got him a move. He hasn't made a Premier League start for the Clarets. I think he has made a Premier League start. I think once this season when Barnes I think was dropped, but I just haven't. They just need to come to the party a little bit here, Burnley, because if they could get a chance or two, they could really test out this makeshift City back line. 64.5 minutes gone here, and at the moment things not looking good for Burnley, but the long ball forward. And the ball out of play, midway inside the half. Still the City fans cheering away, but Burnley just need to pick up the pace. 65 gone. JB Man of the Match award is now open. It's a supplementary award. Nobody actually wins it. It's just a Man of the Match vote to see who you think will win Man of the Match, and it gets people talking on the comment section. So all you got to do to vote for the for that is vote for the player that you want to see take the award, and hashtag it with the hashtag JBMRTM, please. If you do that, the vote counts, and whoever is winning at the end of the 90-minute mark will be declared our Man of the Match winner. Here's a chance for Sterling inside the area. Ben Mee, what a good piece of defending that, but there's a flag up for offside anyway. And in fact, the referee deciding to get on with the game. That's good, sensible refereeing. This is Dwight McNeil now looking to get Burnley going once again. If it is a draw as regards the Man of the Match vote, I have the casting vote. Panini's already put in a bid for Man of the Match. Nick Pope is the first candidate for Man of the Match. Nick Pope. He's made some super saves that's kept Burnley in touch, but he could only do so much in the goal there for Burnley. 2-0 down now, the Clarets, but it's a chase. They need 2-goal buffer. They've got to try and chase here against the City side. I hate to say it, they are rampant. And I secretly fancy Burnley to do a job tonight, but when they went to 5 in midfield, and I looked at the team sheets before the game, and I was sat in the commentary box, and I have to be honest with you, my heart sagged, because I thought this is going to be negative from Sean Dyche. It's just not on. I just felt they could have, I don't know really. I think they could have gone for it tonight, right from the word go. They had a chance. I'd like to know what Sean Dyche. We'll get reaction, of course, after 10 o'clock from the main protagonist. Hopefully we'll hear from Pep Guardiola. We'll hear from Sean Dyche himself and a few of the other heroes and villains. Gabriel Jesus is a Man of the Match candidate. He's got 2 goals, of course. He's always going to be in the frame. So Pope and Jesus have got a vote each. One from Panini, one from Russ. And 67 gone in. It's Manchester City 2 up against Burnley. Burnley now need to play with a bit more fight and desire, but they've just got off. They've gone back into their shell a bit after a good 5-minute spell for them. But now De Bruyne round the corner to Silva, just to the right of the penalty area. Or the D rather. Over towards Angelino. This could be trouble here. Barnsley's got to be quicker out of the blocks there. Good cross, but it's back with Ben Mee. Now David Silva, then the shot back in, and it's a great third goal from Rodri with his right foot. It's got it right into the top right hand corner. And I'm sorry to say, it's game, set, and match for Burnley. It's Burnley 0, Manchester City 3. Rodri with the third goal. No chance again for the goalkeeper Nick Pope, who dived away to his left-hand side, but the ferocity of Rodri's shot was just too good for him. And City go 3 goals clear, and normal service, I'm ashamed to say, as a Burnley fan is resumed. Poor header, really, from Ben Mee. And really, Burnley will be kicking themselves, really. They have gone right back into their shell, and now, as a result, we find themselves 3-0 down. It went a bit more central to the goal than I actually thought, looking at it from the naked eye. Just watching the replay, dead central, but Pope gets a hand on that. Maybe he should save that there, Nick Pope. Oh, Mr. Guardiola will be delighted now. He's signed probably now more than likely back on winning ways, but Burnley really have only themselves to blame. Let's be fair. And as a Burnley fan, I'm disgusted. Absolutely disgusted with the Burnley performance tonight. They have not turned up one bit apart from 5 minutes around about the hour mark. They have been pathetic. I have to be honest with you. And I'm gonna tear into them at full time because they just haven't performed. This is Manchester City. They're coming to your home patch. There are people that have paid up to £45 a ticket on a Tuesday night, braving the elements, and you put on a performance like that. That, I'm afraid, is not good enough. And it's just not good enough. It has to be said. It has to be said. Take nothing away at all from Manchester City. They've been great. They've been absolutely superb. You can't fault them for that. Burton 1, Southampton 1 is a full-time result, flash from Panini, but it's just been, from start to finish, an absolute load of rubbish from Burnley. It really has. There was always going to be trouble. I knew from the moment the team sheets were in, and around about 45 minutes from kick-off, I knew before we went to air tonight that the team sheets, when we were playing the formation, we were always going to get caught. Bardsley and Peters have had one of their worst games this season. Peters more so. Why is he still picking up a wage at Turf Moor? He's only in the team because of the unfortunate nature of the injury that Charlie Taylor picked up. We've also missed Ashley Westwood's industry in the midfield. I don't understand why Dash didn't risk him tonight. It's just pathetic. And then we've got Tottenham coming up. They're going great guns under Jose Mourinho. It's going to be a long old December for us, I'm afraid. Just, that it just makes the Crystal Palace defeat feel that little bit more harder to stomach, if you know what I mean, because if we get 3 points, if we'd have got 3 points from that, then I wouldn't have been more hypercritical of the Burnley lads tonight. Instead of which, I'm now very, very annoyed that we've put in a substandard performance in front of the television cameras. This was a chance for these Burnley lads to really right the wrongs of Saturday, and they've not done that tonight, I'm afraid. And they need to have a long, hard look in the mirror. And Daesh needs to get them in. This is they're all over the place. Tarkowski knows to be one of the shining lights, and he's just taking them all. A City were charging forward. Now the game's lost as far as I'm concerned for Burnley. Oh, that is ridiculously poor. How do you not miscontrol it under no great pressure? It's beyond me. This just sums up Burnley's performance in a nutshell. It's not good enough. Anyway, Raheem Sterling is coming off. And on in his place is Riyad Mahrez. Well, City can afford to smile and be 3 up. Burnley made it easy for them. It's just been from one disaster to another tonight for the Burnley. It really has. They needed to put in a great performance, and I really did hope that we'd do that, but it's not good enough. It's just literally and utterly, and I've got to say it, they've not been good enough, and it's just, you were playing Solihull Moles with due respect in the Cup. This is Manchester City, one of the biggest sides in the world, with billions of pounds in the bank, Russ. You've got to be realistic. This is Ben Mee. And let's be fair, you're watching the same game as me, and I don't see where Burnley are going to get any goals from tonight. It's just, they just have been shy to attack. They've gone forward. And I have to say, certain people, I'm going to single out for criticism at full time. Eric Peters will be one of them that will escape my sharp tongue, because I have to say he's been ridiculously feeble. And that's putting it mildly, because I tell you what, there are certain words I'd like to say about Eric Peters which I can't obviously say on air, but I'd like to say definitely, but I can't, because I've got to stay professional, and I've got youngsters listening like the new Kate, who's a lad that enjoys his football, and I can't let him down. 3-0 to Burnley, 3-0 to City. I wish it was 3-0 to Burnley, quite frankly. But listen, credit City, give them their fair dues. They've turned up here on what could have been a difficult night, and they've done what they needed to do, but Burnley have made it easy for them. Here's Jay Rodriguez. Now, this, if anyone can lift Burnley's spirits, it's this guy. Now then, Bardsley. This needs to be... Burnley need to get this out quicker. Bardsley's just not playing well enough. Here's Henrik to Rodriguez. Back to Henrik again. City, to be fair to them, are crowding out Burnley here. Rodriguez. That's poor! It's poor from Jay Rodriguez. It's poor there from... I'm sorry, but that's poor. Burnley had a good situation. They messed it up. They've clearly and simply messed it up. Sean Dyche ought to be ashamed of himself. His team have not been good enough. You can applaud all you want, but I'm sorry, but if you're applauding that sort of abject display, I'm afraid to say, Sean Dyche, that is simply not good enough. And that just sums up the mentality of Sean Dyche. He takes off one of the best outlets in Dwight McNeil, and he brings on Robbie Brady, who had an absolute stinker against Crystal Palace. This is winding me up. Absolutely winding me up. Sean Dyche, hang your head in shame. That's a poor substitution. Meanwhile, we're going to see Phil Foden off for Manchester City in a second or two. But why on earth do you take off Dwight McNeil? One of your best attacking outlets, and you bring on Brady. Despicable. Absolutely despicable. And it just sums up the mentality of Burnley in the last two games. And Darren Beckley, the media manager, will be getting both barrels when I come off air tonight, because he can't defend this turgid display. Here's Mahrez now. Mahrez into the penalty area. Good challenge there. First time I've seen Eric Peters actually use something good in the game. And then he goes and gives the ball away rather carelessly with a long ball which was never on. Burnley are just stupid. They're not trying. They're not trying enough. Here's Walker. It's easy for City here. Kyle Walker, who was beaten by Burnley in his Sheffield United days a few years ago in a playoff final. As Walker gets the ball again. 3-0 to City. 2 goals for Jesus. 1 a real right foot intercept by Rodri. Nick Pope possibly should have done better to the game. Well, maybe if they took Shearer off the punditry, it might have been a lot better than what it has been. 3-0 to Manchester City. We're still level on the man of the match vote. We've got 1 vote for Nick Pope, and we're going to vote for Gabriel Jesus. If you want to vote for man of the match, and I assume you might probably vote for a City player, because let's face it, apart from Pope and a couple of others, Burnley have not turned up at all. And that's me being honest. Here's Riyad Mahrez. I'll come back to that in a second, because City are attacking here. It's just too easy for them. Mahrez with a cross into the penalty area. Tarkowski getting ahead on it, and City get a corner on the near side. So maybe a player. I assume it'll be a Man City player probably. And you put an hashtag, and then just hashtag it with the hashtag JBMLTM, and your vote will count. So we've got 1 vote for Jesus, who scored 2 goals, and 1 vote for Nick Pope, who's done everything he can to keep City at bay. But City are just, he's been let down by his back 4, I'm afraid. At least 2 or 3 of his back 4. Here's De Bruyne with the corner near side, and then sort of a miscue there from David Silva. Spills up into the guns of Nick Pope. So 13 minutes to play. Burnley 0, Man City 3. As far as I'm concerned, the game's dead. I can't see Burnley getting 3 goals in that time when we haven't really tried for 77 minutes, 77 and a half minutes to score themselves. It's been pathetic. They haven't tried. They haven't tried to attack City. They haven't tried to play City at their own game. And this is on their own pitch. And I'm sorry, but I think if there's a few Burnley fans, if they're unhappy, they're entitled to feel unhappy. If you've stumped up £40 a ticket, I think they're entitled to feel a little bit aggrieved by that. Do I watch the Scottish League? Not really, not much. Only when the 2 Glasgow clubs play each other. Obviously when I see the Europa League, I try and watch a couple of highlights of the Celtic and Rangers games. But Scottish football doesn't excite me as much as it used to north of the border, especially with Celtic winning everything in sight. City won a free kick on the far side. Angelino felt he was fouled. I don't think they've got any more cause to complain. They're 3 up. Just leave it. There's no point in complaining. 3-0 to Manchester City. It's been an absolute chasing in after evening for Burnley, and it's been despicably chasing. And I'm ashamed to say it because I'm a very staunch Clara. I love the club. You know, my roots are in the town, and I want them to do well. But you know, when they're not trying, they have just not tried it. It's so easy for Manchester City. It really has been so easy. It could be a cricket score. This was our best chance to get a result against them. It's just not right. It's just not right when you see a team like Manchester City steamroll. It's you know, if they win 4-0, but you make it 4-2 and make it difficult for them, then that's acceptable. What's not acceptable is the performance they've put in tonight. They're losing 3-0, but they've not put in a display that they can be proud of and give the fans something to cheer about. Now they've got 11.5 minutes to go. We're going to see De Bruyne off the field. Phil Foden's going to come on. As far as I'm concerned, City have won the game. I think that's a given, as Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne tag each other and make their change. And City fans, quite rightly, applauding De Bruyne off the pitch. I think he's had a decent match to that, Kevin De Bruyne. Much better than he did against Shakhtar Donetsk a week ago in the Champions League. I think they still need a couple of points. Gareth Southgate in the crowd. England have got a decent group in the Euros next year as well. They've got Croatia. A big chance of revenge in the Euros at Wembley next year. All 3 group games that England have got at Wembley. Potentially Scotland could join them in that group. Wales are there too. And of course we'll be across the Euros next year, across Europe here on the JB Current YouTube channel. Hope you can join us for that, and hopefully we'll have Chris and Russ amongst our commentary team. Mike, of course, hopefully will join our team as a fully fledged commentator for that tournament, because we probably need 3 or 4 commentators to get through all the games and all the action. I can't physically do it all myself. Anyway, a goal kick to Manchester City as another Burnley attack peters into dust. It's been a chasing in, horrible experience. And you've got to say Pep's got it right. There's no doubt about that. He's gone attacking, he's gone bold, away from home. It was never going to be easy. And they've won the game. And, you know, you've got to take your hat off to Pep Guardiola. He's a tactical genius. And, yeah, he might have £1 billion or so in the kitty, but it's the way he spends the money that's the important thing. As Pope's kick, he slipped on the turf as he kicked it. And it wasn't a particularly good kick from Nick Pope. It's not often I've said that about him. And here is Mia Mahrez on the right-hand side. City with 81 minutes gone. 3-0 ahead in this Premier League encounter. Burnley will drop into the bottom half of the table regardless, because Crystal Palace earlier tonight beat Bournemouth with a late Jessup goal. 10 men Crystal Palace. Panini giving you some score flashes from the FA Trophy, which I'm not going to repeat because I'm in the middle of a commentary. But you can obviously read them on the comment section. Free kick to Manchester City, which is frustrating the living daylights out of Burnley here a little bit. Angelino, the man fouled here. And I don't think that's even a foul. I think that's a poor decision for the referee. The referee's done okay up until that point. I didn't think that was a foul. Once again, play acted. It doesn't suit certain players, I'm afraid. Here's Silva, far side. Now then, can Burnley defend this and try and get forward and at least make it an interesting last 8 minutes? They haven't done enough for me. Don't forget, JB man of the match coming towards the 83rd minute. We finished the vote after 90 minutes. We've got a vote for Pope and a vote for Jesus. As things stand, if one of those 2 players gets a vote from now till 90 minutes, they win the award. Or is it going to be someone else? We've got to draw in the man of the match vote. Don't forget, the name of your player you want to see win our little man of the match vote tonight. And hashtag it with the hashtag JBMLTM, please. Nick Pope with a kick now for Burnley. And he needs to be taking this a lot quicker than what he is doing. Burnley need to turn up and perform. They've got 7 minutes plus stoppage time to really put in a half-decent display that might just put a few smiles on faces. City have had a matter of 15 attempts and 7 of them have been on target. Burnley have managed a paltry 3 and a feeble 1 on target. That was a 3 kick in the second half of Dwight McNeil. Just not on. As a home team, if you're a fan of the home team, which I know myself one, You have to be absolutely. You need to be. You'd be perplexed with rage looking at them stats. It's been so easy for Manchester City tonight. This is De Bruyne to Mahrez back once again. This time Walker, I should say. Rodri scored the third goal. Sprays the ball out to Angelino on the far side. 3-0. Of course, Burnley go to Spurs on Saturday. And that's going to be a tough test at the Tottenham Hotspur's stadium. Here's a chance here now for City as they got to work it opening. Here's Mahrez, finds Angelino. Angelino with a shot across the goal. And they appeal a corner, and City don't get that corner. Jesus almost getting his hat-trick there inside the 6-yard area. And almost making it even more safe there. There was no deflection on it whatsoever there. Angelino reckoned there was a deflection. I didn't think there was. There was no deflection at all. It was well left in it, as it turned out. And Jesus not tall enough or not sprightly enough to get on the end of that. Fernandinho's coming off for Manchester City. An easy night for him. He's not really had too much to do. And Eric Garcia is going to come on for the remaining 5 minutes 20 seconds that we've got left, and plus any stoppage time that Martin Atkinson might care to add on at the end. Hopefully not too much, because Burnley will just want to enter the misery that's before them tonight, and it's not been good enough. It's not been good enough by half, and it's been bitterly disappointing. And now then, what Burnley got here? Have they got a free kick here? It looks like they might have here. Referee calling over now, and he's going to book Jeff Henrik. Oh dear me. So gone for the other way. So foul there by Jeff Henrik. Oh, he gets the ball. He gets the ball. Come on, ref. He gets the ball. There's no question that's a fair tackle. And the referee's bought the theatrics of David Silva yet again. And that is a harsh red card, a harsh yellow card, I should say, against Jeff Henrik. Just sums up the mentality of the referee. Sums up now. He's 1 now away from a 5th booking. I do think Burnley pick up unfortunate yellow cards that I will defend them on, but I'm afraid to say that they haven't played well enough. The referee's performance has been okay, but a little bit off the boil. I'm not John Moss's biggest fan. I don't think he still should be a referee at his age. But Burnley's performance, let's just put it this way, for 86 minutes, apart from a 5-minute spell, has been feeble. I'm not agreeing with you, Ross. I think he gets the ball. Anyway, the ball back now, again, Burnley just lackadaisical. They need to be better than this. It's not been good enough. Here's Mahrez picking the ball up now. He's got Foden on the right-hand side. If he goes with it, Mahrez shoots. It's into the corner. And that just compounds Burnley's misery. Burnley 0, Manchester City 4. Riyad Mahrez with the 4th. And Burnley, well, let's face it, their performance, if it was shocking before that, it's got even more shocking now. It's been far too easy. And Burnley now, I'm afraid to say, for their negativity, and I hate to say it being a Burnley fan, are getting their just desserts, because they're getting absolutely thumped here. Benby, weak defending, should be closing down a lot better. No chance, Nick Pope. It's been shocking all around. It's been a shocking Burnley display. They haven't been good enough. Yes, it's against Manchester City. Yes, they have money to spend. But that, I'm afraid, you've got to give it a go. And they haven't given it a go tonight, Sean Dyche's men. And he cannot be pleased, Dyche, with that performance. And if he tries to defend him after the game, then I think he's a big fool. And then I think he's an absolute fool to think that. Burnley 0, Manchester City 4, 87 minutes on the clock. Riyad Mahrez with the 4th one. And, well, it's just not been good enough for Burnley. They were poor against Liverpool. Rodri's been given the television man of the match award. You've still got a couple of minutes to vote for our man of the match award, which is at the moment... I honestly think that's savable. You look at that again. I've looked at it from a couple of angles. Now Burnley trying to get it on the act. Now they might have a chance here. Jeff Henrik scores! And Burnley have scored. It's Robbie Brady, actually. Well, I'm sorry to say it's come a bit too late, Burnley. Why didn't they do that earlier in the game? It's a great finish. And the clean sheet is gone for Pep Guardiola. Robbie Brady pulls one back. It's just a crying shame. It's just a crying shame. It's come way too late. And it's not good enough. They needed to do this a lot sooner than they did. They pull one back, but it's just not good enough. It's a half-empty turf for as we look at the moment. And, well, Robbie Brady gets one back. They force a mistake here, but why didn't they do this half an hour ago? They're not going to win 5-4. Let's put that to bed straight away. There's not enough time to win 5-4, Panini. As much as it's tempted to do so, but it's just not been good enough. Burnley have just not turned up at all, and we've had to wait till 89 minutes or even to register a goal. It's just not been enough. I'm not going to give them any credit because they didn't turn up for the other 87 minutes that have been played. It's a great finish, I'll give him that. But the rest of but everyone else should still be. It's still a shameful Burnley display. They haven't deserved really. You know, they wait until they're 4-0 down to start playing, and that's not good enough. It's not good enough by half. Burnley 1, Manchester City 4. It's a goal that Burnley barely deserved, really, on the balance of play. I hate to say this, I'm being realistic here. 30 seconds of normal time remaining. Pep Guardiola will be annoyed that he's lost his clean sheet, but at least Burnley are on the scoreboard. Why did they not do that half an hour ago? And we might have had a much better finish to the game. It's just not good enough. They need to start performing at better times in the game. They need to start performing earlier. They just haven't turned up. They've only started turning up when they've gone 4-0 down. It's just not good enough. We're going to see a change, I think. Oh, we're going to see. No, it's 300 minutes actually. Sorry, the board's gone up 300 minutes. And Burnley really need to pull their figures out. They need to play better against Tottenham on Saturday. Otherwise, it could be another thrashing against Spurs. They are now hitting new heights under Mourinho. We'll be keeping an update on them at Old Trafford tomorrow. As they play Manchester United. Our commentary will come from Anfield as Liverpool take on Everton. And Everton, well, what a big night for them possibly now. If they lose that one, will Marco Silva be in a job come the end of it? Who knows? Manchester City have won a 3-kick. Bill Bardsley's had a pathetic game again tonight. It's just not been good enough by half for Burnley. And well, I think Pep Guardiola won't care about the 1 clean sheet in 10 stat. All he'll care about is that City are back to winning ways. And what Burnley will care about is their fans will care about, because I've been listening to a few of them there grumbling, is the way they have just let City run riot here tonight. It's just not been good enough. Bernardo can't keep it in play. Right, we're going to give the Man of the Match award for gritted teeth. I'd love to have given it Nick Pope, but he's lacking 4 goals. I'm going to give it to Gabriel Jesus. Scored two magnificently taken goals and has put City on the way to a very comfortable victory. So Gabriel Jesus picks up the JB Man of the Match award. But I've had to say it for gritted teeth because I don't think there's anybody in a Burnley shirt tonight who really gets close to it, I'm afraid. I don't know whether Nick Pope's one for Panini was out of sympathy, I don't know, but Turf Moor is now vastly empty. There's a lot of empty seats, certainly on the Bob Law stand. They've obviously seen enough. City have won a 3-kick. And it's not been good enough. And we'll get Russ on, I think, at full time and get his thoughts on things here. He'll be our eyes and ears, but at this moment in time, it's been a disappointing night. We'll be with you until about 10:30 tonight. Hopefully, we'll get some reaction from Pep Guardiola and from Sean Dyche himself, and we'll break off to bring you those interviews live. Tomorrow we've got the Merseyside derby. 20 seconds of the match left now, of the extra 3 minutes, and Burnley will just be happy, I think, in some respects, to get out of here and lick their wounds, because they can't play. They have played a very poor match tonight, and maybe making too many changes was the worst thing they could have done. In some respects, the whistle's actually been gone. It's gone right on the 93-minute mark. A comfortable win, as it turns out, for Pep Guardiola. Sean Dyche says well done. But Burnley, I'm afraid, have got to look at themselves and think Why did we not perform tonight? This was a big opportunity for them. This was a depleted Manchester City side, with all due respect. They had an opportunity here. Robbie Brady did pull one back. 2 goals for Gabriel Jesus. He looked really well tonight. He played really well. Took his goals magnificently. Rodri with the pick of the goals, making it 3-1. And then Mahrez hitting one into the left-hand corner to put a real rampant seal on things. Brady pulled one back, but by then Burnley were just not good. They just didn't turn up for 89 minutes tonight. Then Brady pulled one back. And Sean Dyche needs to have words with his team, because that performance, if you forked out £40 for a ticket, you will want to claim your money back, because that, for me, was just not good enough. Burnley really ought to apologise to the fans, and I hope Sean Dyche comes out afterwards and apologises for that display. There was obviously, when I saw the team sheet tonight, it was just nothing. You know, you knew full well that City might just roll in. They tried to play defensive. They didn't play it well enough. They should have attacked more, and it just wasn't enough. And you've got to say, City deserved the spoils tonight. They have been the better side. We'll try and get some reaction at full time here tonight. Gabriel Clark there, one of the touchline reporters. Pep Guardiola is a delighted man as well. But there's got to be some serious questions asked in the Burnley camp here tonight. Sean Dyche, who defended the team's performance against West Ham, he can't defend their display tonight. Yes, it's against Man City. Yes, they're one of the best teams in the world, but not, in my opinion, it's just not good enough. I mean, let's just get some reviews from some of the things. Hard to watch, taught a lesson, strange starting selection, checkbook out, Dyche out meltdown. Well, I'm sorry, but some of these, City too good. We allowed them to be too good. That's the whole idea. 4-5-1, never on it. I never thought at the start. We'll get Russ Bernard's opinion on there, but here's just to remind you, I'll read another message out as well, but in a second or two. So let's just check on the results. Jeffrey Shrub scoring the late goal there at Crystal Palace. They won against Bournemouth with 10 men. Burnley, as you've heard, losing 4-1 to Manchester City. We'll get Russ in a minute, but I just want to read this tweet, Facebook message from a guy called Daniel Cracknell, who's a friend of mine, of course. City now into second place. Burnley have dropped below Manchester United in the table. I think they've dropped to 11th. He says he not usually one to criticise, but what was the Burnley game plan tonight? I know City are one of the best teams in the world, but come on a dark, cold Tuesday night in December at Turf Moor, we go down like this. Poor performance, really poor performance. Fingers crossed he gets it better for the weekend. I think that sums up the mood in the Burnley camp. We're going to get Russ Vernon's opinion on this. We're just going to get him on in a second. You're still live with us on the JB Claret YouTube channel, incidentally. But it's not been a great night if you're a Claret, that is for sure. And we'll get Russ on in a second or two, and hear from his point of view and get his opinions on what's been a chastening evening for Burnley Football Club tonight, beaten 5-2. Tomorrow, don't forget, while we're waiting to get Russ on. We're going to get Russ on in a second. We're going to join him now. We'll have the Merseyside derby. Again, I'll be in the com box at Anfield tomorrow night. And I think we've got Russ on the line now from Yorkshire. He's been watching along with us tonight on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Good evening to you, Russ. How are you? Well, Russ is not there at the moment, so we've lost him at the moment. So we'll attempt to get him back as soon as we can. Yeah, we've got you back there. Russ is with us. Before we speak, Russ, let's hear from one of the City.
good again. Of course, tonight we can score the chance.
And how important for you to score tonight? 10 games without a goal, as you probably know.
Yeah, sometimes it's like this. Football is like this. I know my quality. I know I can't score every game, but it's difficult. The real football is not like this. You know what I mean? So I have Sergio with me. I have to learn with him because he is a legend of football and of club. So I have to score when I play because, like I say, Sergio score every time. So that is my ambition. So I want to play and score every time.
And is this the level City need now if you are to compete again and win the title again?
Yes,
this level.
That's the challenge. We have to fight to all the titles we play. So yeah, that's the level. You know, Premier League is so difficult, and Liverpool has won all the season. So that's tonight we can play good and win the game. Is an important game.
And the Manchester City fans are very happy with you. Well done.
Yeah, I'm happy as well with them. Them support me all the time, and of course this goals is for them.
Well done.
Thank you.
Gabe meets Gabe, but our Gabe's voice definitely succumbing to the.
Apologies there. So Gabriel Clark there talking with Gabriel Jesus. 2 goals. Could have had a hat-trick, of course. So Manchester City now move 8 points behind Liverpool, but Liverpool, of course, got that big derby match live here tomorrow evening. You'll be able to hear full commentary of that one on the JB Clark YouTube channel tomorrow night with me in the Anfield commentary box. Manchester United now move up to 10th, actually. Palace now up to 5th with their late win. Hopefully we'll get I don't know where Burnley are in the table. I think they're 11th as things stand at the moment. I don't know until I see the actual table. But City in second place, level on points with Leicester, but with a massive goal difference at the moment. Let me bring in Russ Byrne in again. Sorry about that, Russ. We had to cut you off there. We had to bring you the Gabriel Jesus reaction. Your thoughts on tonight?
No, it's JB. I thought Man City were dominant in attack. Burnley tried in the first half but couldn't break down the City attack. In the build-up to the second goal from Gabriel Jesus, I thought it could... No, the second goal. In the build-up to one of the Burnley Man City chances in the game, I felt like it could have been a free kick for a foul on Phil Bardsley, which John Moss didn't pick up on. But I feel Burnley, I didn't see the full game on Saturday, so I can't really comment on Saturday, but I think if Burnley are to climb up the table and get back in towards challenging for Europe again, I think you may need Daesh may need a bit of money to spend, which I don't think your owners will give him. Or I feel you may need a fresh manager in place. I'm not sure what you think about that, Jerry. I think you may need I think it may be a time for a fresh change in manager. See if a different manager can motivate these players. Because at the moment, based on tonight, none of the players, apart from Nick Pope, who you mentioned in commentary, really showed any fight or desire. Pope made a couple of brilliant saves. If it weren't for him, it could have been 6, maybe 7 for Man City tonight. Good goal for Burnley. I think the substitutions for Burnley didn't work. The 4-5-1 didn't work from the start. I just want to put this out here to CW's in there as well. If Ashley Barnes is fit enough for the bench, then surely he's fit enough to start the game. So I don't get why you've got a striker of Barnes' calibre who's good finding the back of the net. I think if he'd have started tonight alongside Wood instead of having Hendrick as the second striker in the number 10 role, I think he may have got something out of the game. I'm not saying you'd have won it, but you may have got a point, or maybe have lost by just the odd goal, so say 4-3. But with the starting lineup, I was baffled with that. I was baffled with the substitutions as well. I thought McNeil was another candidate for man of the match, but I went with Jesus due to his 2 goals for Manchester City tonight. But I feel like Burnley is not showing enough fight, enough passion. I don't know if they've lost faith in Sean Dyche, or whether it is
Can I just interrupt there? Sorry, Russ. I don't think they're not playing for the manager. I think what it is, I thought they were negative in the way they approached the game. I think the top of it is, I don't think they weren't playing for Sean Dyche. That's not what I mean. I think the point I'm getting at, I think they gave City too much respect. I think when you give a team like Manchester City too much respect, Russ, I think in hindsight you're going to get punished. And that's what City did. They found it too easy. And Burnley could not, and the Clarets couldn't cope with that. I don't think Sean Dyche should be sacked. What I'm saying is he needs to be a bit more, I mean, at home, in front of your own fans, I think 1 or 2 of them are entitled to feel a bit disgruntled because they pay £40 for a ticket, and to see that display, obviously, is not good enough. But I think for the manager to change the manager, I think is a bit drastic. I think what Dyche needs to do, and he needs to start spending and getting a better calibre of player in. Now, Mike Garlick has come out and said many times so far this season there is money to spend. Now, Dyche needs to just be brave and get a player that could change a game. That is a flair player. Now, they rely too much, I think, on Dwight McNeil, because Dwight McNeil, I thought, to bring him off, I thought was a disgrace. I didn't think he deserved being substituted. I don't know whether it's 3 games in a week, why he's changed it tonight. I think they should have gone for it at home. I think if we'd have got something against Crystal Palace on Saturday, Russ, I don't think we'd be kicking up the sort of fuss we're kicking up now. Certainly, because I think tonight's result really makes the Palace defeat that bit more difficult to digest. I don't know how you agree, but I think sacking them, getting rid of Sean Dyche, I don't think is the way forward. I think he's still the best manager that's out there that can take Burnley far, but I think he needs new signings. I think we've missed Ashley Westwood. I don't know if you agree with that, Russ. I think missing Ashley Westwood tonight, I just felt 4-5-1. It was a bit cautious. Drinkwater, I didn't think had his best game. I think we should end his own period. I think that's a given. But let's give City their fair dues. I mean, you've got to say, Russ, let's talk about Manchester City. They were superb, and it looked to me, okay, Burnley might have made it easy for them, but they looked back to their imperious best, a lot better than what they were a week ago when we commentated on them against Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yes, they did. I didn't see that game against Shakhtar Donetsk, but from what I've seen in the Premier League games this season for Manchester City, they've been back to now as one of their best performances. And just touching on Burnley manager, JB, the substitution to fetch Brady on for McNeil, I think that was wrong. I'd have probably put on Vidra for Hendrick and gone 3 up top with Rodriguez, Barnes and Vidra, because at the time when I would have fetched them all on the 59th minute, all 3 subs, and gone through then. And if you'd got to go back fairly quickly after that, when you got 3 strikers on with the score of 2-1, it could have been a different story. But tonight, I think for me the best goal of the night, JB, I'm not sure if you agree or if any of our listeners agree as well, I think the best goal of the night for me was that goal by Rodri. The way he came to him and he just put his foot through it. It looked to me as though he'd already set made his mind up what he was doing, and I think Sterling, standing in front of me and in the eye line of Nick Pope, as well as I'm seeing it here now, I think Sterling may put Pope off a little bit for that third goal, because I think if you're not being stood in front of Pope, I think Pope may have probably got an hand to it, and I think would have probably been a bit more. So at that point, still 2-0, 20 minutes to go. Burnley get a goal in the last 20 minutes, could have changed the game, but that Mahrez goal just killed it off completely. And it was a soup. And I think overall, Man City defended brilliantly tonight. For me, what I'd like to see from Manchester City now, I know they've just won 4-0 tonight, but I'd like to see how they would go play it if Foden, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne was all on the pitch with Jesus together. Instead of and I would probably took off David Silva for Foden and tried it with that way, so see how De Bruyne, Foden, Mahrez and Bernardo Silva all link up and feed Jesus, because I think Foden and De Bruyne would be a good partnership going forward with the likes of Bernardo Silva, Jesus and Mahrez. I'm not sure if you agree with that, JB.
I just want to make a point there. They've just replayed the third goal on the television, and Rodri's shot has been clocked at 66 miles an hour. Although, having said that, I don't think it was the best goal. And I thought Jesus' first one was actually the better one of the goals. But I think City were brilliant. I think they are back to their best. But the pressure will be on Liverpool a little bit now, because obviously we'll have to look forward in a second or two to tomorrow's mouth-watering Merseyside derby, and we'll obviously preview Spurs as well, because Jose Mourinho going back to his old club, of course. But I think Manchester City, if they can ride the storm and then get Aguero back, I think it could be an interesting second half of the season. Let's not kid ourselves. Liverpool have not won the title just yet. City will have a say on that. Leicester will have a say on that. There's a lot of people at the moment think that Leicester's side at the moment is better than the one they won the league with nearly 4 years ago. I think Russ, they were given. I think Phil Foden. I think if they give him a chance, I think he could be a world-class player. I think he's easing him in at the moment, Pep Guardiola, but he's got so many great players, and that's the thing. I mean, it's fair. I mean, it's one thing having people turn around and criticise City for having billions and billions of pounds in the bank. It's all well and good having that money, but you need to buy the right players. And you've got to say, Pep Guardiola, in his recruitment and in the way that he recruits players, and he recruits players for the good of the team. He doesn't buy players in luxury players in, like, for instance, United. This is where United have gone wrong across the city. They recruit players like Paul Pogba, Anthony Martial, players that command big fees but don't play for the team. Now, what I see with Manchester City across the way, in comparison to Manchester United, I'm sure you'll agree with me on this, they have a team togetherness. They do have a team spirit. And you can see that. They don't play for the team. Anyway, we're going to break off for a second, because we're going to hear now from another of the City players. We're going to hear from... Who are we going to hear from now? We're going to hear from Rodri, who scored the third goal. He's talking with Gabriel Clark.
Like having a party, because we need this victory, because to have confidence, it's important for us. We're doing our best, but sometimes we don't have the results we want. And today is a big game, a great performance for the team, and a great victory for us. I know it's a long way to the end of the season, but it's important for us to win today.
What worked in particular tonight, do you think, about your play?
Well, I think we studied very good our opponent. We knew exactly what they want to do, and of course we were us, as always. We were us, our identity, our way of playing. So that's the road to to have things, and is the way to do it.
And Gabriel Jesus hadn't scored for a bit. There's some pressure on him after following Sergio, of course. He said that himself. How do you sum up Gabriel tonight?
Gabriel is a fantastic player. He's very young, but he plays like an old guy, scoring goals. We need them. We need him. His goals, of course. All the guys in the front. We need all the goals because we play for the score. So it's important for him and for the team.
And he carries the pressure when he comes in to replace Sergio. Maybe sometimes we don't always understand that pressure he's under.
I don't know. I think he plays by his own. He don't think in anything else. He knows where he is. In Manchester City it's not easy to score goals, but of course he has the personality to do it, and we need his performance and his goals because he's a great player.
And for you, your goal, is that the best you've struck? What a shot.
Yeah, it was a great goal for me, important, because I don't have many chances to appear in the area, but when I appear I want to shoot and score goals also. So it was important for the team, 3-0, and a big goal for me.
Is that your best performance for City so far, do you think? Do you feel now you're settling into this team?
Yeah, of course. I think I have the first 1-2 months period of adaptation myself, and now I think it's going to be the best version of me. Of course, I think it's not easy to fit in this position, but I'm learning. Pep is helping me a lot, and I think now along it's going to be the best version of me, of my performance, and of course the results also helps to have that confidence. But of course I'm feeling good in the team.
And when you look at the table, 8 points behind now, realistically, what chance does City have of retaining the title, do you think?
All of it.
That much? Simple as?
Simple as that. Until the math says other thing, we have all the chance to win this Premier League. We're not going to give anything. We're going to fight until the end. And of course, I think we're going to see the best version of Manchester City until now.
Well played tonight.
Well, that's Gabriel Clark there too, talking with Rodri. He's sending out a statement there, Russ, that they're not going to let this title slip that easily there, are they? I mean, they're going to fight Liverpool all the way. It's Liverpool's to lose. And remember, I mean, let's touch on, hopefully we'll hear from Sean Dyche and Pep Guardiola before we leave you tonight. Let's touch on tomorrow. Let's move on from tonight and let's move to our big match tomorrow night, which is going to be live on the JB Clark YouTube channel. One of two big games that are taking place. We're going to be commentating on the Merseyside derby. Well, I will, from Anfield tomorrow night. Are you looking forward to this game? This is a big game for both sides, isn't it? Liverpool, isn't it, Russ? Liverpool obviously going for the title, and Everton now in desperate trouble at the wrong end. Now, I want to touch on Everton, really, Russ. Now, I don't know how much you've seen of Marco Silva's men, but do you think they've had a poor season? I honestly had them down to finish in the top 6 or 7 this year. Do you think Marco Silva is a man under pressure, and do you think he's a dead man walking in the job? Because lose tomorrow, and I don't think there's a case to keep him on any further at Goodison Park.
I agree, JB. I think if they lose tomorrow, I think he'll be out of a job. I think with the run of form they've been on, the performance on Sunday against Leicester, I think that's about the third, maybe fourth time I've seen them this season on Sunday, and every time I've seen them they've been poor. I think they're going to struggle to actually get the win tomorrow night. Liverpool playing well, only dropped 2 points once with a draw, played 14-1-13, drawn 1, 40 points. Man City moved just 7 points behind them. I think Liverpool will need to win this one, because if they slip up and Leicester win tomorrow, they can close the gap. And I think if Liverpool lose and Leicester pick up the 3 points tomorrow, I think we're going to be in for a title race. And I can see that if, going back to Liverpool may slip up like they did last season. I don't think they'll have enough all season. I think going to Qatar will take it out of them for the Club World Cup, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. Now on the 18th, 2 weeks tomorrow, is their first game before 2 weeks on Saturday if they get through the final or the third place playoff is on that day, so they play that day as well. I think travelling all the way out to Qatar and playing that game won't help them in the race for the Premier League for the back half of the season during the busy Christmas period. I think they're going to struggle in that run due to playing them 2 extra games than what they thought they were going to play. Also, looking at Everton on the other hand, I feel if Everton lose this, Marco Silva will end up being out of a job before they play Chelsea on Saturday. I think he'll be sacked on Thursday, with Davis Unsworth taking that game on Saturday against Chelsea, again which I won't be watching for other reasons. My team Leeds are in action at the same time. I won't watch that game against Chelsea, but I think Everton, if they lose tomorrow, are going to be in real trouble. Marco Silva's he's already a man under pressure and a dead man walking. I can see them losing tomorrow, Marco Silva being sacked, and then who knows, Watford just sacked Quique Sanchez-Flores. Who knows, could they go to Leicester when they play Leicester tomorrow at the King Power? Could they prove a shock? Because you never know. New manager bounce, it could prove a shock there. Who knows what's going to happen, but we're going to have to wait and see on that one. But I feel that it's going to be tough tomorrow, and I think it's going to be a very tough ask for Everton to go to Anfield and take points off a Liverpool side who, for me, and I say this through gritted teeth because I don't like Liverpool. No, not sure why. I've just taken a dislike to them. I don't know why. Sorry, Sue, if you're out there listening, because I know you're a big Liverpool fan. I hope Everton go there, shock the Premier League, shock you, JB, in the commentary box, shock all the listeners, and pick up a win tomorrow to give Silva, to say that he's a pressure off Marco Silva, and then I hope they pick up after that. But I think both teams will Liverpool, I think, tomorrow may have an eye on the Club World Cup coming up. Probably want to make sure the players are fished up. And for me, Liverpool this season, and yes, I know they've won 13 games, drawn 1. For me this season, I think Liverpool haven't got out of second gear yet. I think they're still in second gear, Liverpool, at the moment. There's still a lot more for Liverpool to show. Same for Man City, they're in second gear as well for me. And Leicester are. I think it's going to be a 3-way title race this season. But I think if Everton lose tomorrow to Liverpool, I think they'll be on the verge of going down unless they're fetching someone like, I know he's been there before, Sam Allardyce, who knows how to steady a ship and keep teams up. He's done it before with a couple of other clubs. So I think if Sam Allardyce goes in, steadies a ship, keeps him up, who knows what's going to happen there. But I think if we go for someone else, another foreigner, maybe Quique Sanchez-Flores, because Watford had Marco Silva, then he went to Everton. So if we go with another ex-Watford manager, which hasn't worked at Watford, I don't think it'll work at Everton. It'll work at Everton, should I say, whoever they get. If it is a former Watford boss, I think Everton will go down. One person who I think could do a decent job for Everton is Chris Hughton. He knows the Premier League, did very well with Brighton last season, going to the FA Cup semi-finals, and kept him up, and was actually sacked by Brighton in the summer. I think Chris Hughton would be a perfect fit for Everton, and I think that could happen after they've played Chelsea in the build-up to Christmas.
Yeah.
And I think Marco Silva will be sacked.
Well, let me just let me your thoughts for a second. Let me just remind you what is happening tomorrow night in the Premier League as regards the programme. Now, there are 6 games tonight, 4 of which are kicking off at 7:30 in the evening. Now, I must stress this: Chelsea, Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge, Leicester against Watford, Manchester United, Tottenham, what me and Russ are going to talk about in a second, Southampton against Norwich, Wolves will take on West Ham, and our match will again kick off at 8:15 tomorrow evening. That's Liverpool against Everton. That's our main feature, and also all the other updates of all the other 5 Premier League games throughout the night until their game is finished. We'll be keeping you up to date with goal flashes and updates, and of course we'll have full match commentary of Liverpool against Everton. What could prove to be, as we've just discussed, a real landmark night for one of those 2 teams. Anyway, I think we're going to get another interview now before we talk Manchester United. I think we're going to hear... Who are we going to hear from now? We're going to hear from Pep Guardiola with Gabriel Clark.
From your team tonight?
Yeah, we play a good game. We control them and we didn't concede much, except one action in the first half and the goal in the last minutes. But we play really well, the transitions, and we found the players in the positions we thought, and the quality of our players make the difference.
How do you sum up the quality of the goals?
Really good. The first one was excellent from Gabriel. The second one was a long possession, a transition, and incredible cross and finishing. And Riyad as well, and yeah, all goals were good.
A goal scorer needs to score, of course, and Gabriel hadn't scored for 10 games for club and country, so it was important for him tonight to score.
Of course, we need him. So the strikers are there to score goals, and we need him. And today we got his effort and commitment, and he's always there. But of course, the strikers like him and Sergio lives from the goal, and it was important.
He's talked as well about, when he comes in, there's a certain pressure he feels replacing Sergio.
Of course, it's not easy, but the team doesn't have doubt about him. So the periods of the striker sometimes score, sometimes not. But we spoke, so we need the quality of the players up front to make the difference. If not, it's more difficult.
Which goal did you prefer, Gabriel's first or his second?
It doesn't matter, both.
And Rodri tonight, in that holding midfield role, scores as well. How do you sum up his performance?
It was incredible. Was in his position, and in the transition, offensive, defensive, he's so clever. And he has much better the picture of our game, the picture of the players where they are in his head. And he's a fantastic player, so young, and I think he's adapted perfectly his physicality in this country.
How much more will he offer, do you think? Because obviously he's relatively new to the Premier League.
Yeah, but he got it. Because the guy who want to learn, listen, and the guy with training session is ready, and that's why always we can count on him without a problem.
And that's why you can play Fernandinho in defence, if he plays that well.
I know, we are open to accept your opinions, but at the end we know the quality of the players much better than all of you, and we know what the team needs in this moment, and Fernandinho, for his personality and character and many things, is an important player, and I like him to play in his position. I said when we lost some games, and I say when we win, so it's a little bit different of all of you. So when we win is a perfect decision, when we lose is a bad decision.
Is that the level, Pep, tonight that you're getting back to, that you'll need now if you are to maintain a title challenge?
Our level, we are far away, so we cannot think about that. So our level was so good in most of part of the game. So I don't have the feeling that we play bad in any single game. But sometimes we need something, you know, after back-to-back. Sometimes you need time to get after the holidays. And there are situations that we cannot control. But we control is try to continue in that way, because the level we play in Newcastle was good as well. But like we draw after we judge the result. But in general, the level of the team, I'm so more than satisfied, and they know it.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, so he's quite happy with the performance. Hopefully we'll hear from Sean Dyche before the evening's out. I hope so, because we'd like to get a Burnley viewpoint on things. Hopefully we'll be able to hear from Sean Dyche. We'll just hang on for a second or two and see if we can get any reactions from Sean Dyche. And hopefully we'll be able to hear from him very shortly. If we do hear from Sean Dyche, we'll bring it to you on the JB Claret YouTube channel, because we obviously it's been a chastening night for Burnley Football Club. There's no doubt about that. In fact, before we bring Russ back, we can now hear from Burnley's manager Sean Dyche. It'll be interesting to see what he makes of everything after tonight. He's now talking with Gabriel Clark.
Well, certainly difficult. I said before the game, they're still a top-class side. There's been a bit of noise about them, recently, and a couple of results gone against them, including at Newcastle. It did great, Newcastle, but they did have 27 efforts goal or something. So, they're a top side, and they showed it tonight. I thought we kept it tight first half, which was the plan, of course, and try and stay in it and make it awkward and make it uncomfortable, and also they're a bit nervy. But I thought they were excellent second half, and we never got to grips with it at all second half.
What was the key moment then? The goal just after half time.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. But the first 5 minutes, second half, we didn't come out at all. They did. Fair play to them, like top sides do. They kept it well. They shifted it quickly, and they affected it with a good finish. We could have defended it better, but it's a good bit of play and a good finish. And then after that, we know it's tough from there on in, and we didn't get to grips with the game at all then. And they scored the third, another great strike, to be fair. I mean, they scored a couple of wonder goals, to be fair, as well. But they were by far the better side, I thought, tonight.
As good as City were, then I sense a frustration with the way you feel about the level of your team's performance.
Well, that always is when you get beaten, no matter who you get beaten by. And we've had a little tough week with injuries. That does affect us, but I think we've got a competitive group. So don't get me wrong, we want players to come in and be effective, but it is more difficult when you play the top sides, and they are a top side.
Would it have been different if you'd been able to field or started with two strikers, out-and-out strikers up front?
Well, you don't know. That's the hindsight stuff. Whatever team you put out against these, when they turn up and they're ready to play like they are tonight, it's a difficult night, and it was a difficult night.
So looking forward then for you, December's always a key month in terms of the number of games. What do you hope now you'll get in terms of a reaction?
Well, we've got tough games. We've got another tough game coming up down at Tottenham. Obviously, change of manager has definitely had an impact there. But beyond that, we've got games that we think are winnable. I mean, all games are, but we know statistically some of these grounds are tough to go to. So I think we're not too despondent. We're not a million miles away. We hope to get our injuries back fit, and we certainly live to fight another day.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Sean Dyche there talking with Gabriel Clark. I think he admitted it wasn't the right thing, and I think he's right, and I agree with what Sean said. Wasn't good enough, and Chris has come on and he said Vidra should have started. As for Brady coming on, he scored, so no issues there. I think I don't think the issue with me was Brady himself. It was the fact that he took Dwight McNeil off. Maybe that would upset me a little bit, but at the time. But there you go. If Russ is still there, we've got to talk about, before we leave tonight, brief word about Jose Mourinho going back to Old Trafford tomorrow. That's going to be an interesting game. Updates, of course, and goal flashes on the JB Clark YouTube channel during the commentary. Quick word on Jose Mourinho going back to Old Trafford. That's going to be an interesting one. That it was Spurs now up and running and winning games under Mourinho. Manchester United could be in for a tough night, and you've got to say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a man under pressure now. There's a lot of talk about him probably losing his job as well. Briefly.
Yes, there is, JB, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm just looking at the team news for Man United tomorrow, there's going to be no Paul Pogba. He's still out with his ankle injury that he's kept him out since the end of September. McTominay could feature after 3 games out with a similar issue. Matic may be back as well. His fitness is going to be assessed. But Man United, they're under pressure at the moment. Well, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not picking up the valuable wins that they need. Picked up a draw against Aston Villa, which was, for me, I thought was going to be could have been a winnable game for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's men. Solskjaer will need to. He's already told his players that he's set could be his last game in charge at Old Trafford tomorrow, with him away at Manchester City at the weekend in the Manchester Derby, which is coming up as well. But I think Jose Mourinho, with the way he's got Tottenham playing at this moment in time, I think Mourinho can go to Old Trafford and get the victory there, I think. And I agree with what Mark Lawrenson said on his predictions. He says, I'm not bothered about the reception that Mourinho gets from the Man United fans. I want to see what team he picks. He thinks that, and I agree with him, they're still telling whether he thinks he can go there and win, or whether he's thinking let's not lose. I think he thinks with Jose, and I agree as well, it's usually the latter more than often than not than the former. And I'm going to go with Mo Lawrenson as well and say Spurs are going to win this tomorrow. Pile more pressure on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think it's going to be 3-0 Tottenham tomorrow night. And Tottenham, prior to winning 3-0 last season at Old Trafford, they won 4 consecutive league games at Old Trafford without scoring. Man United will be aiming to win the consecutive matches against Spurs for the first time since 2015, but I think Tottenham will go there and get a win and move back up into 5th spot above Crystal Palace tomorrow night. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be under even more pressure, and come Sunday, maybe Monday morning of next week, he'll be out of a job. And I'm just seeing this from CW. It says Ole's been unfairly criticised. He's been handed a donkey of a Man United squad, and the media is obsessed with him getting sacked. Sacking Ole now achieves nothing. I do agree it achieves nothing, but I think the players there. I'm looking now before he came in as well. The honeymoon period for Solskjaer is now over. The players don't seem to want to be playing for him. A bit like Unai Emery at Arsenal when he was there, the players weren't playing for Emery. The players not playing for Solskjaer. So I think Solskjaer will be gone by this time next week. Or on Monday. What do you reckon, JB?
Well, I'm not going to make any predictions. As you well know, I only make prophecies, but I'm not going to. We don't know until what happens tomorrow. Let's just see what happens tomorrow first and see how we go from there on in. But that's it, I'm afraid. We've run out of time. Thank you, Russ, for being with us, dissecting the game tonight and predicting the two and previewing the 2 big games, one of which will be live here on the JB Claret YouTube channel tomorrow evening. Full match commentary from 8 o'clock. The programme starts around about 5 to 8 with a kick-off time, don't forget, 8:15. The other 5 games will already be underway, half an hour in, but we'll be keeping you updated with all the other games as they happen when we come on air at 8 o'clock. By then, as I say, all the other games will have been half an hour old, including the game at Spurs, at Old Trafford rather. So that's it from me, and of course Russ. Thank you very much, Russ, for your verdict tonight, and we hope to...
No problem, JB. Enjoy that, my friend. Yeah. And enjoyed your commentary as always.
Thank you very much, Russ. And thank you very much indeed to everyone else who's listened. New Caton, thank you for joining the team as a moderator. He enjoyed it earlier on, obviously he had to go. Chris has just said United won't move forward until Pogba goes. Panini's just said bye-bye Holly Man. Bye-bye Holly Man has not been given chances at United. Ferguson would have been sacked if he was the manager. I don't know what that means, Panini, but there we go. But don't forget, tomorrow evening we'll be live from Anfield. What a game it promises to be, and I, for one, cannot wait. Anyway, thank you very much to everyone out there tomorrow. It's not, well, we were hoping that Burnley could pull off a bit of a shock and make a game of it, but as Sean Dyche quite rightly says, they weren't up to it tonight. But they give Manchester City too much respect, and if you give a team like Manchester City respect, they're going to steamroll you. And let's be fair, they were terrific tonight, City. From 1 to 11, they were brilliant. And Burnley, they really need to take a long, hard look in the mirror, because they've got to go to Spurs now, and they really do need to get up at least a draw from Tottenham if they're to stand any chance as well. So some soul searching for Burnley to do, but terrific performance for City. Seem to be back at their best, but they've got the Manchester Derby to come, and that's going to be a big game as well. Thank you to Ross, thank you to Chris, thank you to everybody who's contributed tonight. It's been a disappointing night for Burnley. Man City don't back, as I said, to their imperious best, but we'll be back at Anfield tomorrow. Don't forget, 8 o'clock will be on the air. 8:15, don't forget the kick-off. All the other 5 games will be kicking off at 7:30. But for me, JB, have a fantastic evening. I'm off to get some food, and I'll see you very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.